Big Orange fans, you played every snap. You showed your orange. But you're just getting started because it's time for the best post-game fan show in college football. It's time for the Garza Law Firm 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. The place where the Big Orange universe from all around the world gathers to talk about today's game. Unfiltered, uncensored, and unapologetic. And did we mention commercial-free? A show of you, by you, and yep, for you.
Yes! Yes!
The most unique fan experience in
Let's get
sports.
it started. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get this thing started.
And it happens right now.
Let's get the party started.
Get online at 865-200-5402. That's 865-200-5402. Or you can hit us up on Twitter at Tony Basilio. Now, here's your host of the Garza Law Firm 5th Quarter Fan Reaction, the man who's been keeping it real for the Vol fans for a quarter century. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tony Basilio.
Or 30 years, but who's counting? And ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to another edition. It is Garza Law 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. Yours truly, Tony Basilio at your service. The Vols scored on 10 of their first 12 possessions today. They set a new school record for points in a game at 72. The clips of Joey Football's mother in tears as he runs through the huddle, kind of what this era is all about. And yes, the Georgia Bulldogs await. As I welcome you into another edition, it's Garza Law, Tennessee 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. If you want to get online, 865-200-5402 is the place to do it. We're presented by Marcos Garza and the Garza Law Firm. Online at garzalaw.com. Whether it's DUI, defense, criminal defense, personal injury, Social Security, or disability, or any of a myriad of other unmentioned disciplines in the law, you don't want to deal with these out-of-towners. You don't want to deal with these carpetbaggers. You want to deal with the great Marcos Garza and your Garza Law Firm. Awesome, awesome, amazing people, and available 24/7 at garzalaw.com. All right, so we introduce our cast and crew as we go tonight on Garza Law 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. And obviously, we're going to watch along with you some of the action that's in this window as well. But Brian Hartman, your thoughts on what we just witnessed as Tennessee with very little problem, and I mean very little problem, with this ETSU team. It went according to script.
Yeah, and you can point to the competition, and it's not much, but what I've seen and what I saw last week offensively is crisp execution. You didn't have too many where you shot yourself in the foot with all these bad penalties.
Yeah.
You had passes that you can tell the playbook has been opened up and they've been able to execute a lot of what's been called. The quarterbacks are able to make all the throws. And I even think it continued into the second half when Aguilar was put on the bench, and rightfully so, and then all the other players too. And you had players execute that, honestly, I've never heard of.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
entire second half, and that's great.
Yeah,
and that's great. Both quarterbacks look good. Merklinger looked really good, except for that first pass, which should have been a pick six. I think he settled down and really looked and got into the flow of the game, and so did McIntyre in his one series or two series or whatever he played. But just looking around and watching some of these other games of future opponents, Tone, does one dare to dream?
Why not?
I'm not saying they're going 12-0, but it just kind of looks like is every game in play.
Why not?
Florida looks bad. Florida looks really bad.
Why not?
And Georgia sort of looks I haven't seen that game, but just looking at the score, 28-6 late in the game against Austin Peay, they look pedestrian.
Here's the thing about Georgia that we know, okay? And we're going to
But they might dial it up for next week.
Oh, they're going to have it. It's going to be a completely different mindset, a completely different Georgia team that will step on the field next week. But it's a crazy, crazy day in college football. I mean, Troy is beating Clemson right now. Kentucky's giving Ole Miss all they want and then some. And South Florida is up late on the Florida Gators. And look, we knew Florida had a difficult schedule, and we knew Comrade Golish had a pretty good team. This game is really significant for two reasons. For one, from a Tennessee perspective, you watch this game and you go, hey, do we have a chance? And the answer is absolutely. And then the second thing that you say to yourself is, will South Florida now, have they done enough? Because they still have to play Miami. But if they run the table, are they going to get into the playoffs? Is Comrade Golish going to get that team into the playoffs? And you know what? In his third season, that might happen. We talked about it in the offseason. They spent big money. They were one of the teams we kind of identified that possibly could be on that trek. And this is an interesting football game. Florida's gotten, I've been watching this one, Florida's gotten very little help from their wide receivers. This early season football, you just don't know, Brian, what you're going to get. But back to the Vols, I was really impressed with how crisp they were today. 6 penalties for 45 yards in a game like that you know's ugly, that you play all those people. I mean, for the second straight week, Tennessee looks well coached. And like any well-coached football team, when Heupel was walking off the field at halftime, he told the Vol Network that he hated their execution and thought that they were sloppy, which I love. I love. If you want your team to be great, when they're very good, even when they're great, call them out a little bit. I love that. He's like, hey, we're not playing to our accepted level. We're not playing to the level, yada, yada, yada. But so we'll watch this Florida game with you, Florida, South Florida. Florida just returned to punt deep into South Florida territory. They're down 15-9. Syracuse today, by the way, had to score 2 touchdowns late to pull out a game with UConn, where they were favored by 2 touchdowns in their building. They got booed for a good portion of their game. And if they would have lost today, they would have been heading for Nico country, which is to say 3 wins on the year.
Did you see where they had to do? Their coach made him sprint.
Oh yeah, after the game, they deserve it.
After the game, just said, we're all doing sprints.
They slept
in front of the fans who are still here.
Yeah, they sleptwalked through that game. They deserved a run. That was a horrendous effort. I'll tell you what, this South Florida team's got a nice club. You could see it last week. They have a lot of team speed. Tennessee today, if you want to get in at 865-200-5402 and celebrate what we saw, I'm asking you right now, do you believe? Look, we're doing the show live Friday at Calhoun's on the River. This past week, we had Al Wilson with us. This week, I'm going to get Vitello down there. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to get him to come to fire people up because he makes me believe. Al Wilson makes me believe. Vitello makes me believe. And I want to believe. I want to absolutely believe. Now, I will tell you this. Over on VIP play today, I've lost 3 games, Brian. 3 games by a half a point. I've had a really close, not that anybody cares, but I've been very, very close to having a really good day today. Not that anybody cares. But I'm telling you, this is a wild day in college football. And these teams are playing, a lot of these games are being played right around the number. So they're kind of sharpening up already here early on. One has to wonder what is going to happen, as you can check us out over on YouTube today. But one has to wonder next week, because Georgia Week's officially upon us. And Tennessee, really, their first football game is here. Because I'm not sure what we learned about us from Syracuse other than we've got a quarterback and he fits the system. We know that. And here's the thing about Georgia. They've played nobody. Last week they ran the ball at one portion of their game. I think it was 9 or 10 straight plays just to prove they could do it. Today they were using their game prior to the rain delay. They were using their game as basically a scrimmage. So who knows? I'm of the mindset of who knows. I'm of the mindset that we don't know. One other thing, David Sanders today did not go for the second straight game rather. and that bears watching. Do you give a true freshman his first start against the Georgia Bulldogs? Do you do that? It's going to be interesting. Going to be an interesting week here. If it comes to that.
Is he healthy enough to play?
Well, if it comes to that.
I think you have to ask that.
Yeah, if it comes to that. Do you give him, if he's healthy enough to play, do you put him out there and start him against Georgia when he hadn't played all year? Or do you give him do you wait a game? Since you've found a good thing here in what you're doing with your offensive line up front. So our number, if you want to get in, is 865-200-5402. Again, 865-200-5402. If you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us, we would love to hear from you and love to talk about it with you as Tennessee wins today 72-17 in a game that really, at the end of the day, wasn't really a game. But we knew that. And it was up to the Vols to do that, to not play with their food. The way Penn State did is Florida goes in and scores now. And that game's tied at 15-all pending the extra point. Let's go to the phones and get our first call in. And if you want to jump in, we've got one call. And here's what happens when we play these games. It's tough getting phone calls because, people head home from the stadium at different times. And these games, at the end of the day, are something that we all have to kind of put up with. They're sort of, how do you say this? They're kind of a necessary evil in modern college football. And you just don't want to get anybody hurt. But let's go ahead and go to the phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
What's up, y'all? This is William.
Hey, William. Welcome in, brother.
Man. I guess I know why you call Joey Aguilar Joey Football.
Are you pumped right now, William? Are you pumped? Can you feel it?
Absolutely, Tony. I can feel every ounce.
Joey Football right now, or in today's game, 23 of 31, 288, 2 touchdowns. He was clean. He was smooth. He was very good. 74% completion percentage. 173 is his quarterback rating. And he was spraying the ball all over the place today. Joey Football.
Yeah. And like my dad said, we have ourselves a quarterback.
Yep. You're right.
And so, I have no words.
You just can't believe that score, can you, William? 72 points is an all-time record set a couple of years ago. Hey, Brian, did you think with Joey Aguilar we'd be setting an all-time record in week 2 for scoring? Because William's got a good point here. The way this year's unfolded thus far, and Brian asked the question, and I'll ask the living listener this. When you look around the country and you look at what's going on in college football right now, does it make you believe? Or does it make you stop and say, hey, I just, I don't know till we get there. I don't know till next week comes. We won't know till we get there. Or do you find yourself letting yourself believe a little bit? And then, Bri, while you're believing, do you put the Kentucky game back in that's going to be a tough football game category? All these things are going through my mind at once, Bri.
Yeah, that crossed my mind too when they were up on Ole Miss by 10 early, but Ole Miss looks like they've gotten control of the game now. And you ask if I'm surprised if Joey Football putting 72 in a record. I'll be totally honest. Florida State got 77 today. Oregon got 69. We're living in an offensive era.
Yep.
And you're playing an FCS opponent. It really doesn't surprise me when you put up big scores and 71, and you can push 70. They push 70 a lot of times in games like these. So I'll be honest, especially after what I saw last week. Yeah, now if someone like Gitmo had played in a game like this, I'd be very surprised. But with Aguilar, no.
Shout out Gitmo. He's on YouTube now, breaking games down.
He does a fantastic job there, by the way.
Shout him out. Shout him out, Bri. We could have gotten him on if you weren't so mean to the guy when he was here. But look, as it is right now, you look around college football, William, the team we see next week, it's 28-6 game. Okay, Georgia with Austin Peay. Here's the deal. Georgia doesn't care about those games. They don't even try to score. Georgia, if you're a gambler and you see those big numbers next to Georgia, you play that opponent every time. You play them every time. You'll make money. You'll make money more times than not. Because Kirby uses these games to work on things. He even uses some of the lesser games in the SEC to kind of fool around a little bit. We've seen that. But when they get in the squared circle with us, we get their full-throated attention. And, William, where are you right now heading into the Georgia game?
I am. Ugh.
You want them in the squared circle, or are you afraid of them? I want the honest truth now.
You want to know something? All my life, I've kind of been afraid of Georgia. Kind of. All my life being a Tennessee fan. But this year, there's a change. I'm not afraid of Georgia.
Not afraid?
Nope.
No.
I'm not afraid of them.
You were a young kid the last time we beat them, William. You probably weren't even cognizant that it was a thing. I was getting dogpiled in an establishment in West Knoxville during a listener watch party after the game. That'll never be forgotten by this living Vol fan. And so this is going to be
You don't need that again with your back.
This is going to be a very, very interesting week that we're going to have coming up here. Extremely interesting week. And personally, I embrace it. I personally embrace this week.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you, my man. Good talking to you, William. Good talk. William fired me up today and focused me and prepared me on your TLD Logistics hotline if you want to get in the mix with us. Florida leads South Florida 16-15. Other scores of interest. Ole Miss on top of Kentucky, 1:14 to play in that game. They're driving with the ball inside Kentucky's 20-yard line. 1:14 to play in the game there. Elsewhere, Clemson's taken a lead on Troy. Clemson was down big time in that game. And we've got our eyes on coming up here in a little bit in this window. Michigan and Oklahoma, among others. But the Georgia Bulldogs kind of playing with their food as they do. We were talking about this earlier. As they do and as they like to. And Brian said to you, do you dare dream? Do you dare dream a little dream here? Brian, I say, why not? You know what I'm going to say next week? I'm going to give you a little preview. When we're at Calhoun's next week, be a bunch of Georgia fans down there. Because they'll come show up. We'll have a bunch of people. And I'm going to ask those folks, and this is a serious question, because I'm going to ask the same question of Joey Football at the end of the month, because I believe in this. We saw this today with 2 quick turnovers in the Ole Miss-Kentucky game. And you know what the question is? The question is, how many, as Ole Miss adds a field goal to make it 20-10, and I'm going to lose by half a point again. I took them at
30-20.
Or 30-20. I'm sorry, Bri. I was thinking about the 10-point spread. Bri, I'm going to lose another game by a hook. This is really getting old here. But anyway.
Well, we got this on our if it holds 10, we got it on the power play here early in the week. We had 8.5.
We took it at 8.5. Okay.
Yeah. So you might have played it at another number, but I mean 8.5 wins, 10 obviously, 10.5 would.
Well, I was shooting my mouth off to a friend of mine, and he's a big Kentucky fan. I gave him 10.5, but anyway, I was pretty confident they would take care of business. TCB. All right, we're going to go to the phones at 8652. I'm rambling. Today's ETSU game, though, look, I am thrilled Tennessee played clean football. I don't know how you concentrate when you're out there. It's a great day to work on your sack dance. It's a great day to work on your end zone celebration. It's a great day for you to, if you're Boo Carter, get a lot of open air. And we knew they were going to do that. We knew they were going to reintroduce Boo Carter. We knew they were going to feature him, and he was terrific today. So Let's go to the phones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 15 Vols caught passes. 15 Vols caught passes today. Let's go to the phones. 865-200-5402. Hello and welcome. You're on Garza Law Fifth Quarter Fan Reaction. Hi.
Hey, Tony, how you doing?
Good to talk to you. Welcome in.
Well, it's been a while, that's for sure. Well, let's see, Tony. I know what we were playing today and last week, but just watching Joey Aguilar play quarterback compared to what I've seen for the last couple of years, my heart is happy. What do you think?
I think it's a great story, man. Look, and somebody said it earlier in the week on the Daily Show, which airs from 11 to 1 Eastern over at Fan Run Radio. If, and right here at tclub.team, if in fact Aguilar is able to lead, and my question for the Georgia fans is this: how many starts does your guy have on the road? And the answer is none in this league. Because when you play a league game, Don, and you're on the road, it's a huge test. The Simmons kid in the first half, Don, it got to him today. Arch Manning last week when he was on the road at Ohio State, it got to him last week. I heard Nick Saban say that about Arch Manning. He said, yeah, he kind of blinked in that spot. There is no doubt that it's up to Tennessee's team to make it uncomfortable on that kid early in that game, to collapse his pocket, to give him small windows, and let's make some great things happen early on next week, Don.
That's what I'm for. Regardless, I know it'll be Joey's first SEC game, etc., against the top opponent. But just the mechanics of the game, just the looking at the processing by Joey, it's just been a while. But Hendon, I guess. You can just watch him.
Well, we had a call earlier in the week, Don. Answer me this. Mm-hmm. We've had some weird quarterbacks here. Brian just talked about Garantano. Very weird quarterback, Don. Weird. Mm-hmm. Joe Milton was a weird quarterback. The guy in Georgia who called in earlier in the week, I think it's Jason, used the term weird. He's right. Mm-hmm. He's right. And the guy last year was the weirdest of them all.
Yeah.
This guy's a quarterback. This guy is a nuts and bolts football player. This guy is you can just tell. His teammates like him, and he's going to be okay. He's going to do well.
Oh, I don't have any doubt. As long as he stays upright, it's going to give us a chance to win a bunch of games this year, no doubt, against whoever we play. I'm not sure what to make of some of the other teams. Like right now with Florida, they're so fortunate that punter got that ball out the back of the end zone, and they went down 20-9.
You're right. He made a play there. You're right. Yep.
Because if it's 20-9, even after that long punt return, that touchdown, they're still in a dogfight. They're still in a dogfight. It's a 1-point game.
Don,
so what do you make of Florida?
What I make of them is they're going to be a work in progress, like all these clubs. They've got a team that they're trying to get acclimated here. All these skill players. It has not been on their quarterback today. He's played very well, but they haven't been in catching the ball. They haven't been sharp. They've driven the ball down the field a few times. Look, South Florida runs well defensively. We saw them last week just overwhelm. They just overwhelmed defensively that Boise State bunch. This game could be in play. Brian said this game was in play back in the summer. We haven't won there since what? George Bush was president. So, Don, it's been 20 years. I mean, sooner or later, something good has to happen there, doesn't it?
You keep thinking so, right? We mastered, where we can beat them and Alabama at home. That we just got to beat them both on the road.
Yep.
And then you're really back. I was really impressed with some of our young guys playing in the mop-up duty time. The running backs, the receivers.
Agreed.
That Marsh kid can that touchdown run. I mean, he left that poor defensive player looking like, what just happened? He went around them.
You know, that's the difference in the level of play that we see. Is just that. I mean, that's the guy I like. The guy to keep an eye on here is this Rodarius Jackson at wide receiver. I think he's going to be a really nice player here as he gets opportunities. I know they like him. They like the spring and summer he had. And so I hope nobody gets hurt there, but I think that he could be knocking on the door for some playing time if something were to happen in front of him.
True. And, of course, we got a freshman who got him a touchdown in Van Dorsel there.
I love Yes.
Let me just on the running backs. Obviously, we're stacked.
Yes.
About 4 or 5 deep.
Yes.
Okay. And I mean, our kid from Carnes, I mean, he can break some runs. He's tough as nails. Of course, our big number 2, he's tough going in. But I'm telling you, every time I watch Star Thomas, I'm just like, this guy's a ball player.
I cannot believe what I thought we were getting in Star Thomas and what we got. Because that cat is quick. He is quick at the line of scrimmage and quick with his first move. And, Don, thank you for the call. And we'll go back to our phones at 865-200-5402 as Kentucky adds a field goal, Bry, with 8 seconds left. That is some true Stoops nonsense right there up at Kentucky. They can keep that. They can have him all they want. Backdoor cover and backdoor beat for us. I mean, what a clown scoring a last-second field goal, Bry. What a damn circus clown.
Well, I mean, they were desperate. They had to get something to try to get an onside kick attempt. So,
meanwhile, 4th and 4 for the Florida Gators on the 45-yard line of South Florida. They're going to punt the ball back to Coach Comrade Golish, as they call him. Question is, right, and this is for the glitterati in college football to discuss. South Florida, if they lose a game 16-15, play Miami close, win the rest of them, they're a playoff team from Group of 5, right? I mean, they have to be. They have a credible football team. They have a credible football team.
If you'll remember, Golish against Alabama kept that game kind of low scoring like this one.
Yep.
I think it was like 17-10. So he knows how to keep. You think about offense, but I mean, he sort of is winning and having a chance to win with defense, kind of like Heupel had become. And he's kind of figured that out. And now hope he may have a quarterback who can help him score more points, but it isn't showing up today.
865-200-5402 if you want to get the hunting in the mix with us. And we'd love to hear from you today on the programma. As I got to tell you right now, we're fired up, focused, and prepared to be here with you. We're pumped up in front of Kevin Hart today, in front of the great Tony Vitello. Here's what Josh Heupel on Star Thomas said. Even from the end of spring ball to the start of training camp, I'm not sure anybody changed more than he did. The guy's done an elite job. There you go. There you go. Back to the phones we go. So South Florida going to get it back. Going to get an opportunity. And we'll go back to our phones. Gets real next week for the Vols. We're really going to kind of get an indication of where we are next week. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know that it would be fair to, quote-unquote, judge the – like somebody said, I had a caller earlier in the week say, well, we're going to know what we have in Aguilar when you play next week. I mean, that's not fair. You're playing a Georgia bunch that is about as elite can get. And, they're capable of making anybody have a tough day. So I'm not going to make any judgments based on next week. But the Syracuse game, you think about it, I watched them today with UConn. They're just not very good. I'm not sure if they're as good as the NC State team that we saw last year. And they weren't very good. So we're going to find out about ourselves. And I think this is true across college football. You have to get 4 or 5 games into this thing for us to really get a sense of who some of these teams are. Now, on their level, that South Florida team, I wouldn't want to face them on their level. I can tell you that right now. That's a credible football team. As for throwing dirt on Florida, I'm not doing that. Throwing dirt on Alabama, I'm not doing that. Throwing dirt on Georgia because they've kind of played around today, I'm certainly not going to do that. Because I know what I know we are going to get a full-throated effort from Georgia next week, and so do you. You know that too. I mean, we know the game here. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this thing plays out and where the Vols fit in to the puzzle. Because the emergence of Aguilar, the emergence of this reworked offensive line and how well they've performed to this point, and you got to take the competition, take it all into consideration here. But you can only play what's in front of you. The Vols have looked very good. And then when you think about what's in front of you, you have to temper it. Boy, really nice play by the Brown quarterback from South Florida as they get a first down out to the 40. And it's like 5 minutes and inside 5:20 to go in the game. They're down a point looking for an absolute upset as they're up past their 41-yard line. My friends at VIP Play, if I'd have played this game today, I would have played Florida to cover. They would have taken my money. Because it looks like not only that, but it looks like that's a dog with fleas getting ready to score. Maybe kick a field goal here. They're a couple yards away from field goal range as they just completed another pass. But VIP Play is a world-class betting experience. Look, NFL Week 1 gets underway in earnest tomorrow after a couple of warm-up games. There are a huge bunch of games left tonight on the night card, including our guy Nico, ironically enough, at UNLV, so he's in Las Wages. Shout out to my friends at VIP Play. Look, make your first bet $5 or more, $100 in bonus bets instantly. Our promo code is TNTony. We ask you to shout us out there. TNTony is the promo code. And please use the phrase that pays, TNTony, when you sign up, and we appreciate your support. Live always, 200 leagues, numerous bet types, props, options, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of specials. Make sure you check the specials tab every day. All kinds of great things up for you at VIP Play, where everyone's treated like a VIP. And the number is 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. Let's go back to the phones. It's Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction on your TLD Logistics phone lines. Shout out to my friends at TLD Logistics. Moving America. Moving America. Whether it's through their brokerage division or any of a myriad of trucks they have on the road. We're inside 3:30 to play. 4th down and 7 now. It says, I thought they just got a first down, Brian. Did they just get a first down, or was I seeing things? 4th down and 7, okay.
I have 3rd down and 10 at the 44.
Yeah, it's
43.
It's 4th and 7. They're being forced to punt it away as we go back to our phones.
39-yard line.
And we'll get our next call in. Yeah, they're going to punt from no, I'm sorry. Check that, as they say in the trade. They're going to try a long field goal here from, this will be, a 58-yarder to take the lead. The kick is on the way, and the kick is... Oh, it just falls short. It was right on line, man. It was right on line. It was right on line. Back to the phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. What's up? It's Jono.
Hey, Jono. Welcome in.
Man, I got to go to the game today with the one and only fake Tyler Bray, and we had a Calhoun's Party Pack tailgate.
Nice, man.
Outstanding.
Nice.
Hey, so talking about quarterbacks, I feel like Heupel's onto something with Joey. I mean, I'm an underdog kind of guy. In the NIL era, every kid coming up that's a 5-star just thinks that they're going to walk into someplace and be the superstar. And I really believe in development of quarterbacks, and the fact that he's taken a guy who was told his entire career he's not good enough, and now he's in a spot to be good enough and to run a major program. What do you think? A kid from 18 to 22 is way different.
Oh, I think there's an argument to be made that you do what Oregon has done, which is to say every year you go out and get a new guy, you pay the money in the transfer portal, and you fill that gap. Now, the thing about this guy is, generally speaking, if you go and get him a tier or somebody like that, you're going to pay a lot of money. With this guy here, this was a kind of a shotgun wedding, if you will. You know what I mean? So,
sure.
From that perspective, but you've got a veteran guy here who really fits their offense and, to your point, really appreciates the opportunity. Now, when people that were at the game see the mother's reaction, and when this makes its rounds through Vol Nation, the fact that she's crying seeing him run out of the tee, I guarantee you the first couple of college football games that kid played in the junior colleges, it was family and friends on the sidelines, like a Little League baseball game almost, something like that.
No doubt. And that makes a difference.
Yes. This is a kid who appreciates the chance, no doubt about it. And he shows great leadership from that regard as well.
Absolutely. It's almost like a Rick Barnes formula in football.
Yeah, and you know what Barnes has done? Barnes takes the 5 stars and he mixes them with the culture guys.
Sure.
And and this guy's a culture guy. Joey Aguilar has been a culture guy, and look, if he can have a solid year this year and scratch his team near the playoffs by the end of the year from where we started, we will regard him forevermore as a hero, and he'll be a volunteer for life.
No doubt. He already is in my mind.
There you go.
Hey, love you. Thank you.
Love you. Thanks, man. And you got me hungry for the taste of Tennessee, my friends at Calhoun's. I mean, come on now. We had an incredible time. We're going to be out there on Friday. We had an incredible time at Calhoun's yesterday with the great Al Wilson, who was with us. I was so impressed how Al took the time to sign for and meet and greet with so many people, and he just such an ebullient guy. You can just see. You talk about people who appreciate this and what we have and who we are, and this whole experience. Al Wilson is right there. And then watching him yesterday, I watch these guys, the way they treat others, the way they interact with others. Al Wilson got my vote any day of the week. He has my vote. Anytime, any place, anywhere, Al Wilson's got my vote. Bri, is there a final, Bri, on that Georgia game, or is that still going on? And then we'll go back to our phones.
I think 28-6 was the final score.
Okay, fine. They just kind of played around. We'll go to our TLD Logistics hotline. Shout out to my friends at Calhoun's. They are the taste of Tennessee. You heard Jono mention their party packs. Always a great way to go. Always a great choice when it comes to tailgating. This year they're going to cater our tailgate for the kids from Amachi. We need your tickets for, what's the game, Brian, November?
New Mexico State.
Thank you. 3rd week in November, 2nd week in November, whenever that game happens.
The 15th, I believe, 15th of November.
A mentoring program where they mentor children, precious kids. One or both parents are incarcerated. And what they're trying to do is break cycles and show these kids life. And I love my friends at Amachi. Al Wilson yesterday, when he heard that, walked up to Amachi Brook and he said, "What can I do for you?" He said, "I love what you're doing." He said, "That is real." And he's right. And every year we put our arms around those kids. We do it in memory of the great Keith Hatfield, who encouraged me to do our first one. And then we found the Amachi folks shortly after thereafter. And, boy, we've seen a lot of great things down through the years through that tailgate. Been at it about 10 years now. We collect tickets from all over the world. And if you go to tclub.team on Monday, we'll have the full note of where you need to send your tickets, and you'll be hearing us talk about that as we go. In the meantime, we'll go back to our phones. Sean Sinclair, your thoughts on what we witnessed in the East Tennessee State game today, and then we go to the phones. Sean Sinclair.
Sean, can you hear me?
Welcome
can
in.
You hear
go
me?
right ahead. Yes, sir.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I don't know how you can be more impressed. I'm certainly aware of the opposition, but I saw 3 quarterbacks, and I saw 3 somewhat different offenses, meaning you had the starters, you had the backups, and then the last couple drives of McIntyre, it was all true freshmen and guys that have just been around. And they all executed. You could tell the difference between the talent level and the experience level with the 3 layers there. But they all ran a tempo. They all, as you say, they all looked credible. And it just looks different. I'm not here to say that McIntyre or Merklinger is better than Nico or anything. I'm not. But it looked like everybody on offense knew what they were supposed to do, regardless of their class. They knew what their assignment was. As you said, a game like this can get sloppy very quickly.
Very quickly.
There weren't a whole lot of stupid penalties. I thought the fumble snap, inside the 10, they gave them their first touchdown. I thought that was unfortunate. But I don't know how you can. And then Aguilar, it's a couple things from last week. I kind of got roasted. I wanted to make sure I wasn't unfair. And I watched the linebackers because I said I thought they were just not up to par last week. And I get it. It's ETSU, but they played well. Even the young guys played well. And Mike Matthews, I was very much a critic of his on Wednesday, saying he's got, you were demanding a number 1 wide receiver role in NIL. He stepped up. I thought he looked like a very good number 1, number 2 receiver.
Yes.
And then the last thing is that I don't know where this recruiting class was ranked, but I sat there and watched kid after kid. The wide receivers all can play.
I agree with that, Sean.
Even Justin Baker, it looks like a credible running back. The Morris kid looks very good. And even at the end, you had the Dye kid in there. You had they were both Utley and forgive me, the other 5-star defensive lineman looked good. A lot of kids, Jaden Pilati, Jaden Harmon, a lot of those guys. The DB still looked good. They can clean up some stuff, but that's a game where over the past decade we've sleptwalked, kind of like Florida has and kind of like some other people have.
Yep. And
aside from a couple little, mistakes, and it looked like from execution, I don't know how you're upset with anything there, and I'm not. I thought they were wonderful, and Joey Aguilar, I don't know how good the kid is, but he is certainly developing into a great story.
A great story.
He's so easy to root for.
Oh.
And the thing that I like, look at this. Here's the contrast. The contrast is the Iamaleava family, who did everything they could to take every penny they could from Tennessee. Truth of the matter is, they big leagued a lot of the families on the team, even their own class, meaning their recruiting class. And here I'm watching Joey Aguilar's mother and his grandmother crying in the stand, so happy for the opportunity their son or grandson has. Complete contrast and appreciation, and in my opinion, class.
To the phones we go, and Sean, you're so right. When you play a game like this, concentrating is such a tough thing to do. And I'm watching this Florida game right now. They just got a personal foul penalty at the end of a play. When a play was over, a guy punching a guy on the bottom of a pile. After a play is over, a personal foul penalty, and they throw a flag on a big defensive lineman from the Florida Gators. Bet is his name, and you can bet that when they're watching that film back, they're not going to be happy with him later. You saw very little taunting out of Tennessee today. You saw very little showboating out of Tennessee today. I saw a lot of guys, when they score, I mean, sure, guys celebrate and you work on your dance a little bit, but they weren't doing it at the expense of others. I saw Boo Carter with an extra effort on a punt return, and he had already stepped out of bounds, but he tried to dive into the end zone from the 5-yard line. This team looks extremely, we go back to our phones, this team looks extremely together, and that was very impressive today. They scored on 10 of their first 12 drives. They netted 72 points total, playing 3 quarterbacks, and as Sean said, with 3 different approaches. And South Florida's down the sidelines. You've got to be kidding me. Down to the Florida 32-yard line. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Tony B, you got me?
Gotcha. Go right ahead.
Hey, this is RD from Stony Creek, Tennessee. I was in the stadium this evening, man, and I don't think it's any surprise why Heupel and that staff has got Aguilar at quarterback over Merklinger. It's pretty obvious after a couple series.
Well, I mean, he stone cold beat him out. I mean, in the summer, and Merklinger did not have a good summer, but he had a pretty nice day today, I thought. Once he settled down, Brian was right. He threw the ball in a real game that's picked off for a touchdown. In a real game, that goes back the other way, and that's why ultimately he's not out there.
Absolutely, man. My question for you guys, Tony, and you made a comment. I'll touch on this just real briefly. That's one thing I felt like with Nico at quarterback, we never looked like the whole team and the offense was together all year last year, and I think we saw that the past 2 weeks. But my question for you guys real quickly, I don't know a whole lot about Georgia. I know we got a big game coming up next week, and I'm just worried about our defensive line being able to get some pressure on Gunner Stockton and the Georgia backfield. Let me know what you guys think about that. And other than that, when they come to Knoxville, I think Kirby Smart, I got 3 words for him. Wendell Moe Jr. Feel this, baby.
Feel! Somebody gonna feel this. Thank you. Good talking to you, my man. And have a good, safe trip back. Hopefully we get you a good part of the way back. For the first time, Tennessee's going to see a quarterback next week and beat you 2 ways. And they went out in the offseason and they invested big time in their receiving core. But the Stockton guy is not afraid to use his feet. He's not afraid to use his arm. And see, I don't know if history's going to show this because Kirby Smart's been there and been doing this a lot longer than our head coach has. He is at his best, and their program seems to me, Sean, like they're at their best when they have one of these Rocky types of quarterback versus the high-flying 5-star guy. It seems like Georgia does their best work and they're most dangerous when they have one of these dual-threat, almost like bulldog tough guys. And I don't know if that's what this quarterback is just yet. I do think that's what Stetson Bennett gave them back there. But next week, Sean, will be a real step up just in terms of the physical nature of that football game. That Georgia team will be very physical with Tennessee on both lines of scrimmage next week.
Well, absolutely they will. What you said earlier was so true. Kirby Smart doesn't care about the game he just had.
Hell no.
He doesn't care about the first game he played. He's out there just trying not to get hurt. He does not care one bit. I can assure you that aside from the quarterback was highly recruited. It's not like he's some hump. He was highly recruited. But every starter on that team is an NFL player. I don't know if they're a first-round draft pick, but every starter on that team will be an NFL player of some consequence. And they have the best, in my opinion. Ohio State is equal and Texas is equal starting. Georgia has the best depth, especially on the lines of scrimmage and in the linebacker and DB than anybody in the country. So they are going to, if we can win the game, but we're going to have to play a great game.
Yes. And
Georgia's going to have to give us some opportunities. Because I've seen this so many times. One thing you can count on is when we play Georgia, it's going to be hard for us to move the ball. And when we play Florida, I don't care who's their quarterback, they're going to have the game of their life. That is just a law of nature.
That's a fact with your hand up. Navy wife Allison says, GBO, and go Joey football. My daughter Catherine, a mentor with a Machi for over 2 years while she was at Johnson Bible University from 2019 to 2021. Much love to you, Tony. Allison, thank you. I love you. Thank you. And appreciate the super chat as well. If you want to watch us over on YouTube, our YouTube channel, at Tony Basilio, I meant to drop some stuff up on YouTube. I will have a few videos this week, my thoughts on where things are going, and with regards to Georgia. You know, this Sanders situation, Sean, gets really interesting now because your offensive line has performed well without him. Obviously, you're going to be better with him. The question is, because I was raised to believe there's a time and a place for everything, do you think, Sean, if he's ready to go, that next week is a good time to start him as a true freshman out there? Or do you wait a week for the UAB game to get him acclimated?
I can appreciate the ranking. I can appreciate his NIL, what we're paying, et cetera. I get all that stuff. He's a backup right now. Jesse Perry is your starting right tackle.
I agree with that.
And until David Sanders beats him out now, it is what it is, because you're talking about a stinger. You're talking about something else. I'm not questioning the kid's toughness. I don't know why he hasn't played yet. I mean, there are a lot of stingers out there. Unless there's some structural damage, I'd kind of like to know why he hasn't played. Again, I'm not questioning his toughness. I'm not questioning his wanting to be out there. But I do know Jesse Perry is out there, and I do know that Pendleton and all those other guys. I sat there and watched William Satterwhite puke.
Me too.
Basically,
you saw it just like I did.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. He was throwing up the whole time, and he wanted to be out there.
It was hanging on his. It was hanging off his face mask
and his belly. It was running off his belly as well, Sean. And he wanted to be out there. He did not check himself out, though he was sick at his stomach. And he was sick at his stomach. Yes.
Yep. So to answer your question, I get all the accolade. I get the NIL commitment, all that. So David Sanders is a backup at right tackle until proven otherwise.
Here's what Josh Heupel said.
Because I think the commitment. I think what the kids have done. They've earned that. They've earned the right to go play Georgia, in my opinion.
22 seconds to go in the game, 1st and goal for South Florida, driving with the football, down 16-15. Brian, if it comes down to a field goal, will they split the pipes, Brian, or do they need to score a touchdown here?
Well, they're inside the 10, and they have a Grammatica kicking for them. That's the son of Martin Grammatica, who kicked in the NFL for years and years and years. So they're at the 7-yard line or 8-yard line, and I don't know why Florida didn't call timeouts earlier. And let the clock get down inside of 20 seconds.
Because this guy can't coach a lick. You know that.
I mean, that's
He
terrible.
can't coach a lick. He can't coach a lick. And the ball's now inside the 2.5-yard line. I'm telling you what right now, you start the year and you beat Boise State, blowing them out, and then go to Florida and get a win. You show me a better start in college football for anybody than what Comrade Golish is doing. Hello and welcome in. And by the way, Josh Heupel about David Sanders said the following for the second straight week, which does open this thing up because it's weird. Just like last week, the medical staff determined this morning that freshman offensive lineman David Sanders wasn't quite ready to play in the game. Back to the phones we go. A little bit strange there. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air. Try this again. Hi, welcome in. You're on Garza Law 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. Hi. Hello, you're on the air. I don't want to do this to you on our TLD Logistics phone lines. Don't make me do it. All right, you're gone. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's Brown Liquor. It's been a while since I've called.
Hey, good to talk to you, brother. I drink out of your, if Nick Saban's for it, I'm against it. Or if Nick Saban's against it, I'm for it. What do we say? If Nick Saban's for it, I'm against it. I drink out of your tumbler you got me a couple times a week, so I think of you, my brother. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you. I you know what? He's really coming into his own on game day, isn't he? I don't hate him near as bad as I used to.
No, now that he's not ruining college football, and now that he's not the spawn of college football Satan, you know, he's actually quite deprecating and quite funny on there, actually.
I think you're right. Unlike Gary Danielson, I believe in momentum, and I also believe in team chemistry. Is it just me, or does this team seem really loose and together without Nico on the sideline? Am I imagining that?
Sean, do you believe this team has a loose nature, and will that serve them next week? Because it looks to me like they've got a pretty together group, and it looks like they enjoy each other, Sean.
I can't speak to that. That's hard to say. What I can say is the offense plays efficiently. In my opinion, they believe in Joey Aguilar. This is the first time in 3 years that I've watched a quarterback. I don't care if he's been here 4 years or 100 days. He runs the Heupel offense right now. And he gives us, in my opinion, he gives us the best opportunity to win the last 3 years. I can appreciate that Nico was in the playoffs last year. Having seen these games so far, I can't imagine a head coach anywhere in America taking Nico or Joel Milton of 2 years ago over Joey Aguilar. That's how impressed I am with that young man.
And that's nuts, Sean, because you're a recruit, Nick. I believe in those rankings. This is a kid that had 0 stars by his name. This is a kid that was cast off at UCLA. This is a kid that led the country in interceptions last year. And I'm sure he's going to have his moments here. Like, he's not going to be perfect. But there's something about him. There's something about a guy named Nico, Brian, ending the football game. There's something about South Florida beating Florida 18-16 at Florida Field. Woo! That, Brown Liquor, is what it's all about. And the stunned look on those necks' faces down there, those Yankee necks, those Yankee necks, those Yankee necks might be the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And there's about 100 South Florida fans there. Beautiful.
Beat the jorts off that white trash. Do it.
And by the way, the guy's name is Nico. How ironic is that? Nico Grammatica.
There you go. Hey, that's borscht for everybody from Comrade.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, one last thing, and then I'll get out of here because I know you've probably got a bank of calls. So supposedly, look, I'm very petty in my sports, and I don't mean Richard Petty. I'm petty.
Yes.
Supposedly, it was an awkward interaction between Heupel and the ETSU coach, and I'm like, I don't understand his beef. We played every damn QB we had on the roster. Our starting QB didn't even touch the field in the second half.
I agree with that, and Heupel's a guy that's not, and I appreciate your call. Thank you. Great talking to you, my man. I hope we see you again at Calhoun's this year. Heupel's a guy that's not going to take his foot off the gas when he puts the other quarterbacks in. And you know what? I'm with him. I'm with him on that. Who was the old coach? It was Spurrier used to say when they would ask him, hey, if you don't like us scoring, stop it. And look, I'm for East Tennessee State, and we had Will Healy on. He was impressive. I didn't see the exchange. I'm over here doing my deal. I don't know whether that's fact or fiction, but as a rule, like Sean said, he puts you in the game, you will run the offense. You're not going to hand the ball off to running backs. That's not what you're going to do. You're going to run the offense, and you're going to attempt to score. And you know what? You go to practice every day. I'm a big believer that you belong. Matt Dixon, get on in here and get some of Comrade Golish emerging victorious. Matt, your thoughts on South Florida going to Florida as a 2-touchdown dog and winning the football game, Matt?
Yeah, that 17.5-point line felt silly all week.
Yep.
And Florida didn't even score 17. But huge win for Comrade Golish. Maybe an audition to be Florida's next coach. But he told Billy Napier to spot the ball all day, and they come out victorious. Really, they outplayed him for most of the game, from what I saw.
No doubt.
And then you have a Florida guy spitting on a USF player to get a 15-yard penalty, and Napier totally mismanaging the end of that game is a really bad look for him.
I'm in favor of it. Full favor of Napier mismanaging that football game. So I just want to say that for the record. And Brian said, what are they doing with the clock management at the end of the game? And what they're doing is Oklahoma leads Michigan 7-0 early. Matt, kind of an interesting, odd week so far, and a weird start for the SEC non-league. Again, I don't care about those things, but Florida losing that game doesn't do us any favors as a league. But again, I don't worry about those things. I think it's comical they got beat personally.
I'm glad they got beat. You kidding me? Absolutely. I want them to lose about every time they take the field. That's just hilarious.
Another game I'm pointing to and have been all week before I asked Matt what he thought about today's game, of which he attended over at Neyland Stadium, as Tennessee put 72 on the board, sets a new record for points in a football game before and they scored on 10 of their first 12 drives. And then in the second half, mixed it up with a couple different quarterbacks. And like Sean said, I mean, they didn't miss a beat. Mississippi State early is on top of Arizona State. I told you this is going to be, in our daily show this week, this was a low-key banger for me because this is a real opportunity for Mississippi State to perhaps be undefeated when the Vols travel down there. And thus far, they are in the grill of Arizona State. They're physically shoving them around right now. Matt, your thoughts on what we witnessed, then we go back to the phones.
Yeah, it was just always great to get back to the General's house and experience a Tennessee football home game. Tennessee took care of business, just dominated an inferior opponent. Liked a lot of what we saw. Just dominated the line of scrimmage. Running game was pretty good. Aguilar looked very comfortable. So, just it seems like you came out of the game healthy, which was obviously key after last week, especially on defense. So just took care of business, got everything done, and now you got a big game next week. But I think some of the red zone stuff probably needs to be cleaned up a little bit. Struggled down there some. The screen game that Heupel's really kind of revamped this offseason is still very much a work in progress, but you also aren't wanting to put a bunch on tape either. So, but no, it's just a great home opener for the Vols.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for us to share with you the T3 TD of the game. I'm going to jump with Cinco on this. Mike Matthews' catch when he went over a defender and showed some real ball skills on a slant was a beautiful, beautiful play by him. A nice adjustment as well. 53-yard TD reception on a hookup from Joey Aguilar, part of a 6-play, 80-yard drive, made the score 41-0, and really started to put an exclamation point on Tennessee's first half. They would add one more touchdown a little later on in the half, but hey, that was very impressive. You want to try something extremely impressive? How about T3 vodka? Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 vodka has taken the Volunteer State by storm. Handcrafted, majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Let me tell you something about this place. Quality isn't just a promise here. It's a way of life. That's who we are here in East Tennessee. It's filtered 10 times. 80 proof. Smoothness. Unmatched. You got to try. Listen, if you are a vodka aficionado, you got to try T3. A 5-time gold medal winning vodka. 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat on the rocks, maybe you're mixing up your favorite cocktail, it's your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD every time and ask for it by name in your restaurant of choice. My friends at your Copper Cellar family of restaurants carry it. Or maybe your local wine and spirit store, get it there as well, and score a T3 TD with T3 vodka, distributed by Athens Distributing Company, and please drink responsibly. We go back to our phones. Oklahoma on top of Michigan, 7-0 there. Mississippi State is on top of Arizona State, 2 games taking place in SEC venues. And we go back to the phones and get our next call in on TLD Logistics hotline here on Garza Law 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, Tony, it's Eric.
Hey, welcome in, my friend.
Hey, just real quick, I don't know if you've been having this problem, but I called in earlier, and while I was on hold, the feed just kind of fades out, and then you don't hear anything. So I don't know if that's happening to other callers as well.
No, I haven't heard that, but you might have had what we call a packet loss in Comcast world. Anything's and listen, when you get something where thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of people are listening to it at one time in this technological age, anything can and will happen. We've learned that. So, Eric, I apologize for that happening to you.
No problem.
Thank you for calling it to my attention. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple things. It's funny you talk about that touchdown to Matthews. I don't know if you noticed, but like when Aguilar rolled out to his left, and he pointed downfield. I called him Babe Truth at that moment. He's calling the shot. And obviously Matthews bailed him out on that one. But
you boys were in the stadium today, Cinco and Matt. How about Aguilar for the second straight week showing a little ad lib there, and this time letting a long ball go?
Little Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I want y'all's thoughts on that because he's right. It was very quarterbacky seeing Joey football in that regard. Go ahead, Sean.
He looks more natural as a quarterback. I have a friend that was at the game with us, and he's not that guy, but he said, "Man, the guy just reminds me of Brett Favre." And I was trying to disprove him. Again, I'm not saying Joey Aguilar is Brett Favre, but the stuff he does, it just, he doesn't give up on a play. I don't know it, but he seems tough. Seems like a tough kid.
Sean, back in the summer, Sean, I kept talking about, because we were getting so little information on him, okay? But everybody I talked to internally was saying, this kid's really cocky. This kid's really confident. This kid's not going to be afraid. And I was sharing that sort of in real time. I had no idea that kid would go out there. Now, look, next week it's a different kettle of fish. We all know that. And next week's opponent can turn you inside out. But, boy, through 2 games, it would be hard to look any better than he's looking. It'd be hard for Tennessee, Eric, to be any crisper than they've been. And, Sean, I like what you're saying because when Brett Favre played, he played the game with some stones. I mean, he would get you beat every once in a while. He would throw the ball up and do crazy things. But the guys around him believed in him. And the guys around this guy believe in him.
It appears that way to me as well. I mean, the only bad decision I've seen him make was not falling on that snap instead of trying to pick it up.
Oh, yeah.
I get it. But nonetheless, he's trying to make what about the play where he's going to his right? The guy is on top of him and he throws the ball before he hits the ground for a completion. I mean, that's the antithesis of running out of bounds on 4th down to end the game.
I don't.
Last week, the play in the first half when, he threw that we got the PI to Brazel. I mean, he's rolling to his left. He is absolutely getting ready to take a cock shot from the Syracuse guy, and he still throws the ball up. I mean, we may not make the playoffs, but you can win with a guy like that. I very much appreciate him.
Yes, you can win with him. That's a great way of putting it.
A couple of things I wanted to bring up, but now that you're talking about Georgia, you got these national pundits like Joel Klatt who likes to rip on Tennessee every chance he gets, calling our offense a high school gimmick offense. And hell, isn't any offense in college derivative of a high school offense? Beyond the point, what Kirby Smart seems to do against Heupel a lot is he has 3 safeties over the top. So I have to imagine at some point either you're going to have to run the ball or you're just going to have to run across the middle because Kirby Smart's whole thing is taking the deep ball away from Heupel. I mean,
yes.
Do you get that notion too?
You're exactly right. He's the first guy that introduced the double and sometimes triple safety look. Matt pointed that out. The first guy, Matt, that did it to Heupel was at Tulsa, right, Matt? All those years ago? And then Kirby kind of did it to the Hendon Hooker that year when they were really flying. That's correct, right, Matt? The chronology of that?
Yeah. The Tulsa DC was the first to have basically it's like a 3-2-6 alignment with the deep safeties, and they just take away everything deep. And and then Kirby's kind of perfected that, and he's had a 2 deep of 5 stars across the board to really win at the line of scrimmage also.
Doesn't hurt, and half of them are on my Eagles. And Jalen Carter, I understand, gets a lot of water in his mouth from time to time. But listen,
right.
This is going to be another opportunity for Tennessee here. And here's what Heupel had to say about it. He said the following about the Dogs. According to Adam Sparks, Josh Heupel said, "How's Tennessee going to beat Georgia? It's going to take us being our best and our fans being their very best. And I love these calling out and counting on the fans because that's a huge edge in that game if we are able to hang around and make it an edge.
Yeah. Real quick before I close out, 2 quarterback notes. Number one, our former quarterback's playing pretty soon against Dan Mullen on ESPN Plus. And number two, ETSU's quarterback. I know he was listed at 6'1", 230, but Jerome Lorenzen looked pretty much bigger than that.
Jared, thank you. Good talking to you. I think that's a hefty lefty shout out there back in the day. We'll go back to our TLD Logistics phone lines here momentarily. Just a quick look to see at what's going on. It's still 7-0. And it looks like, am I seeing things, Bri, or is Mississippi State driving with the football right now up 7-0?
Yeah, Mississippi State's up 7-0, but I was watching the LSU touchdown. They're up on Louisiana Tech 7-0. So Auburn's up 14-0 on Ball State. Yeah, Mississippi State's still up 7-0 on Arizona State.
Matt, do we give Mississippi State a puncher's chance in this thing? I guess why not, right? They're at the 20-yard line.
Touchdown underdogs playing at home, and they're already up 7-0. Yeah, of course they're a live dog.
Alabama scored on Louisiana Monroe, so they're up early there. I'm sure a lot of the Alabama fan base is now resting easy and probably taking a guarded and measured look at this thing. We'll go back to our phones at 865-200-5402.
Mississippi State's at the 19 of Arizona State, up 7-0.
Thank you, Bri.
And they're inside the 10.
And they're on the move.
The 8.
They're on the move.
What's the clock situation, Brian?
Stop, Matt. And Oklahoma, by the way, Oklahoma is up 7-0 on Michigan, and they're moving with the ball as well. So let's go back to our phones at 865-200-5402. A couple callers have fallen off. If you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us and you've been encountering busy signals, an opportunity for you to get in as we are with you on Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction presented by Marcos Garza and your Garza Law firm. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going, guys? It's a great day. I thought it was going to be a really bad day, like with a lot of crappy games. But, man, I'm having fun. Tennessee did great. USF. But here's my thing. About 8 minutes to go before halftime in the second quarter, they put our tight end out wide a couple times.
Kitzelman.
He didn't block.
Oh, no, you're not talking about Kitzelman. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not talking about the drop with Kitzelman. I'm talking about
Ethan Davis.
Ethan Davis is, and
Yeah,
Sean pointed
Ethan
that
Davis.
out. Sean pointed out that blocking must be optional for our tight end today.
It was back-to-back plays, and it was so obvious. And because they put him out, wide, like it was just on the TV. And I'm like, all right, now I know why he hasn't been getting the playing time. That was the only thing that disappointed me today because everything I hear, the kid's got so much talent. And I'm like, he didn't block. That could have been a play right there.
In two games, in the Syracuse game last week, if you remember, he got a touchdown called back because he did an illegal chop block. He came around the left and took out the end when we scored.
Yeah,
and it negated a touchdown. Today, he gets a holding call that negates a touchdown. And then there were two balls. The guy's 6'5", 240 at least. And there were two either screens or a bubble pass where he got worked by a cornerback. That's just want to. I mean that's where. I mean, again, you win 77-0, but the caller brought it up. I didn't bring it up. That's just not good enough.
Yeah, no, and I'm like, well, that's why he got on the field because from what I heard is he's got all the talent in the world, and
they love him. Yeah, they love him.
But I mean, that's unacceptable even at a high school level. You don't block, you don't play. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's crazy. And then I just wanted to touch. I was going to bring it up, but someone said something about like Aguilera playing like Favre or something.
Yeah.
Well, he played for City San Francisco. That's a JUCO.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from California and went to Bakersfield College, BC. So we had the Potato Bowl. That is a top end JUCO. So if he didn't start there, they have like we had a backup that had a scholarship to Purdue. It just didn't work out at BC and turned him into a linebacker. Well, back in the day, there was a lot of talent, especially in that area, and I'm sure it's changed.
You know what the irony is? That kid had a dream to go back home, and you're from there, right? So that kid had a dream to go back home and play college ball, which I can respect and appreciate. Everybody listening to the sound of my voice can respect and appreciate that. Everybody has a place they call home. Because they did him dirty, his mother was crying her eyes out because he got to play in front of 100,000 people today, running through the tee. And let me tell you something about his mother. Next week, you want to talk about something getting real? When they see the intensity of that stadium, when they run through that tee for that Georgia game, I've had players tell me they compare the birth of their child to running through a tee that's like a half a mile long. But they say that running through the tee is one of the most euphoric things in the world, especially for those signature games. Think about where that kid could be right now. He could be getting ready to play in front of about 30,000 people tonight at UNLV on CBS Sports TV, whatever the hell that is. Their subsidiary deal, their little TV sports network. But he's going to be in a 4 o'clock start next week in the signature game in this league next week. And about 15 million people are going to be watching him next week. Now, you think about that for a second.
Well, no one out in California cares about college football.
Yep.
The only game that you could go to a bar or your buddies would talk about and you watch was USC versus Notre Dame. And that was it. No one cared about USC, UCLA. They tried to build it up as it was USC, Notre Dame. And that was the only game that anyone cared about. It's not he's so lucky to be in Tennessee.
The mother's crying her eyes out. The grandmother's crying her eyes out. I mean, these guys are, come on now. This is a storybook thing. What's happened for this kid's a storybook deal.
Yeah, he's got a little Manziel, a little without all the drugs and all that, and he's got a little Favre in him. And, man, he may lose us a game, but he may help us, like, defeat a Georgia or someone by ad-libbing something. You know what I mean? And if he does make a mistake and throws that pick like a Favre might, man, I'm still going to love him. I'm just – this season's so much fun. Like, we're 2 weeks in, and I'm just digging it. I'm loving it.
And you know what I love about what you said, and thank you for the call. Here's the thing about college football. Mike Huguenin told us this yesterday, presented by Gufon Moving and Storage. He said yesterday, these weeks where you think it's a C-, always deliver. These weeks, Matt, when you look at that calendar, you look at that slate of games, and you go, God, those are awful. That's a 17-point line. That's a this. That's a that. I mean, South Florida just beat the Florida Gators. Imagine, Matt Dixon, put yourself in the place of a Florida Gator fan right now, knowing you still have to play Miami and Florida State. No, and go through your SEC schedule, Matt.
That's why their win total was basically making a bowl game.
That's exactly right.
Despite having a top 15, I guess maybe even top 10 team. That's just a brutal schedule. And tonight was one of the games you kind of had penciled in as a win.
No doubt about it. And that's why, at the end of the day, we don't know. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what I do know. Georgia will have a quarterback next week that's never started a game in an environment like this. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Today, I saw Lane Kiffin's quarterback blink up there on aisle 3 where there was a spill, Matt. Somebody broke a couple of bottles. Texas Pete fell on the ground. It was kind of a messy scene there in aisle 4 up at the Kroger Field. How about Kentucky's coach kicking a field goal with 8 seconds left, Matt, to cover the spread. Do you have a thought on that, Matt Dixon, before we go back to the phones? You talk about chicken shit.
Cut it to a possession and maybe get an onside kicks. I mean, it was never going to work, but that's probably the play you have to take there.
You're right. I'm just mad at the guy.
I think Ole Miss's quarterback rolled his ankle there late in game.
He did.
Like they had to basically carry him off the field. That's something worth monitoring going forward too.
Back to our busy phones we go as Arizona State is down 10 early, and now a holding call is going to negate a gain out near midfield. Michigan down 7-0 with Oklahoma. Oklahoma is swarming as they sack the quarterback. Oklahoma looks much improved year over year. They spent a lot of money, and they look much improved thus far. Hello and welcome into our next call. It's Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. You're on the air. Hi.
Tony B, it's Zach in E-Town.
Hey, Zach, welcome in.
What is up, my man?
Hey, buddy.
Go Big Orange.
Yes, sir.
Great game today. Everyone's made some great points. I know we've got a big one coming up, but I want to talk Florida for just a second.
Yep.
And I hope Florida calls in tonight I'd like to hear from him.
Yep.
First off. How much do you think, like, with the Golish going up there and beating them?
Tony B?
Yeah, Tony B. I bet we won't hear it. But how much added pressure do you think that puts on, or do you think it even puts pressure on us and Heupel to win that game? I mean, because they look beatable, but, there's that mental thing that we have. I mean, it seems like this year, if we're going to get them – and with Golish winning that game.
I stand with Sean Sinclair. Anytime you get on the field with Florida, their receivers are going to make plays, and their quarterback is going to make plays. I'm talking about games down there. And you're going to do something goofy. So until I see you win there, because it's only been 20 years. I mean, people think I'm being negative. And of those 20 years, I've probably called for a Tennessee win, Matt. How many times? In those 20 years, Matt, do you think I've called for a Tennessee victory?
Just about every one of them.
Okay, so I'm going to shut the hell up over here. Yeah, I'm gonna know my role and kind of shut my mouth on this one. I will tell you this though, Zach, the league, and this leads me to a super chat from Josh Carter over on YouTube. Oklahoma, Mississippi State, Arkansas look like tougher games right now than Florida, Georgia, and Bama. I don't know if I agree with Josh there, but I will tell you this. The league is got a really pretty good middle bottom to it, and it's going to challenge and test everybody, including us. So we think we know right now, but Florida might grow up like they did last year. They might be South Carolina down the stretch for all we know. You just don't know how the thing's going to go, man. You just don't know how it's going to go.
I know, and I know it's a long way out, and everyone's really shouldn't be thinking about it. I wonder if Golish, do you think he'll help? I mean, do you think they'll pass along any info?
Oh, they're boys. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Because this could, I mean, a win to me against Florida would be, I don't know. I think I'm not sure, but I'd rather finally get a victory down in the swamp maybe than, I maybe would trade that over Alabama. But that was a great outcome on both regards today, and it's a great show, and it's a great day to be Tennessee Vol.
I said it's great to be. We're going to go back to our phones at 865-200-5402. Shout out to my friends at Waterside Contracting. Listen, if you got a dream and say you got some land, or say you're thinking about building, you want to build like on the water, maybe like Norris Lake, which is right in their wheelhouse with Waterside Contracting. That's your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true. Hundreds of folks in our area, custom homes or remodels. Waterside Contracting, build on your lot. They'll do incredible work, and they do it all over our area. Structural integrity and quality without compromise, a way of life. WatersideContractingLLC.com. I'm going to go back to our phones. Thank you. 865-200-5402. Steve Parker asks on YouTube, Matt Dixon, you cover this. Is Florida going to be a man and man up and call in tonight, or is he going to be a coward and hide over in the corner. The caller, Florida. Matt, where are you on that?
I'm guessing he takes the night off.
Back to our phones we go. We've got our eyes on 4 games, including Oklahoma up 7-0 with the ball, and John Mateer hits a slant.
Pick.
Where's the pick? What game?
Oklahoma. Mateer.
Just throw a pick?
Yeah.
You're ahead of me. Back to the phones we go. Matt Dixon has this thing where he's 10 seconds ahead of a game that's being played. They don't even know what's going to happen there. He's like that BW3 commercial. He can pause a game as it's going on. That is a bad pick.
It's Michigan. They're also 10 seconds ahead of what's going to happen because of Connor Stallions.
Who, by the way, denied this week that he had anything to do with the South Carolina game. Sure, Connor. Sure, we believe. I mean, you're such a man of honor. Of course, we all believe you. Hello and welcome into our Garza Law 5th quarter fan reaction. You're on the air. Hi.
Hey, Tony, it's Pete in St. Louis.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, I got 3 quick takes for comment from you guys. Number one, when you look in the eyes of Joey Aguilar when the camera comes in close during game time and compare that to Garantano, compare that to Nico, and you can just see the difference, right? And then Hughie, you got to give a shout-out to Hughie. He called that Napier would cost them a loss, and he certainly did tonight. And then the last thing I want to get a comment on is be careful what we wish for, because I can see a backup coach coming in and beating Tennessee like those backup quarterbacks at Florida do us.
Well, I mean, anything's possible in that Florida series. Like somebody's telling me that, on here that I've got some issues. The Florida series is an issue to me, and I'm traumatized by it. I'm in total trauma over it, Pete. I'm going to believe that when I see it. Sure, I remember one year Vanderbilt went there and won. I remember that same year Georgia Southern went there and won. Matt, what happened to us against Florida that year?
That would have been one of the Muschamp years. That might have been the Nathan Peterman just total implosion disaster game.
Just wanted to check. I just wanted to make sure. The same year,
Tony,
Georgia Southern and Vandy beat them. I think they won like 5 games that year, but one of them was against us.
Hey, I'm in your age group, so I have the same exact 90s trauma and the Jabbar Gaffney and all that stuff, okay?
Oh, man. Yes.
I feel you. It's until they do it, they don't do it.
That's right. I'll believe it when I see it in black and white, my brother.
Yep. Hey, it was fun to watch them play tonight. They're back to what they do more often with the speed and the things, and I just love that kid, and what a great story, and how can you not root for him? And regardless of how the season turns out, we've got somebody we can get behind and really support on a lot of levels, and it's just great.
Thank you, my man. Yeah, it's a great feel-good story. Joey football, I'm telling you right now, you laugh at this. Go out and beat Georgia next week. He's in everybody's Heisman thing. Now, I don't pay attention to the Heisman Trophy. I never have. I don't talk about it on the show. I don't, whatever it is, what it is. Because you're talking about a team sport. Hey, Matt, Arizona State better wake up or they're getting ready to get mauled. True or false?
They're certainly in trouble, but I don't know if mauled's the right word. I'm not sure Mississippi State could do that to anybody.
Well,
but they certainly need to get something going offensively.
They're pushing them
they
around.
They look awful so far.
Oh, they're pushing them around at the line of scrimmage. Levitt just got thrown down like a sack of hammers back around the 9-yard line, and so meanwhile Oklahoma is up 7-0 in a real slug, just a slothy, in a game that Michigan would be involved in. It's Garza Law 5th quarter fan reaction presented by Marcos Garza, your Garza Law firm, online, garzalaw.com. Whether it's DUI defense, criminal defense, personal injury, Social Security disability, Marcos Garza and his firm, these are people going to treat you just like they would treat family, Brian Kelly. And they're going to take incredible care of you. Online at garzalaw.com, 24/7 for you, moving right to left across your device. Shout out to my friends at Calhoun's for Taste of Tennessee. We'll be out there Friday from 11 to whenever for the Georgia game. Fired up, focused, and prepared. And I'm going to look at that Georgia crowd, and I'm going to say, if you think that we're going to genuflect before you this weekend, you got another thing coming. I'm talking trash on those people. because I believe it. This Tennessee team. Hey, Matt, what would you do next week? Sean and I were just talking about this. Sanders is cleared and he's ready to play. Do you put him out there, Matt, in that spot, or do you make him wait? How would you proceed with him?
You've got no reason to change up what you've got right now.
I agree with that.
Current unit, you've looked really good. Competition's obviously not been very good at all. But I don't want to, even if he's a 5-star great player, I'm not sure I want a true freshman making his first ever college start or really playing first ever college game to play in be against Georgia when you don't have to.
Back to the phones we go.
Virginia Tech is up 16-7 on Vandy, kicking the extra point.
And that's why they are Vandy. As we get ready to go back to our phones at 865-200-5402. Somebody needs to do a proof of life check on Billy Derrick. Hello and welcome in. You are on the air.
Tony, this is Lunch Break Luke.
Luke-y.
I have 3 things. Incredible news. With the Florida Gators losing, they have relinquished property rights of the Butch Jones Lineal Life Championship to Comrade Golish and the South Florida Bulls, son.
Hey Matt,
they have lost it.
Hey, Matt,
they have lost it.
Can you believe it, Matt? Matt, can you believe this? South Florida right now has the strap, Matt. And somebody needs to let them know that. They've got the strap now, Matt. They've got the strap.
Into their house, punked them, ate their cake, cooked their food, took the dog with them, took the pet, took the deed, took it all, burned the whole place down, let Florida watch.
Bang!
And while we're on the topic of Florida, hey, caller Florida, call in. We want you to call in.
Yeah, we want you, Florida. We want you, Florida. We wish you were on our schedule next week. But you're
we
so.
We love you, caller Florida. In honesty, okay, I love the caller Florida.
I do too. He's a great guy.
He provides a different.
It's a good foil.
To the
Yes.
show,
Yes.
right. You need that.
Yes.
And then in certain aspects, circles and sports and anything that is ever entertaining is not entertaining if it does not have a good villain.
That's right.
Star Wars would not be Star Wars without Darth Vader.
That's right.
College football for the past 20 years would not be college football without Nick Saban in Alabama.
Yes.
And the Tony Basilio show, in honest, would not be as compelling if it were not for the caller Florida calling in every now and then.
You need comic relief.
Yeah.
You need some simpletons, just like Butch Jones needed a life championship. He had to invent his own championship, and you've tracked it every damn step of the way. How many times has the life championship, since Butch Jones spoke it into existence, how many times has it changed hands?
I believe this would make 27 or 28.
That is the dumbest thing in the world.
27 or 28, and it is absolute. I predicted this in my typo on the Independence Day blog. That's Monday, July 3rd.
Yes, you did. Let's go. You did. Yes, you did.
I predicted that if Florida lost it any time, if they lost it before they got into the conference schedule, all hell's about to break loose, because there's no telling, if USF goes undefeated, that'd be cool, but I don't know the American as well as I do the Power 4 conferences, so this belt could just go all types of different places. There is hell on earth potential, hyper potential, never before seen by the Life Championship.
There is a Miami's.
We are in uncharted territory.
Miami's going to get it from him.
In uncharted territory because he's in the SEC and doesn't really deserve the job.
Yes.
DJ Lagway is a fraud, phony, fake, punk, clown, loser, bozo, buffoon, and he's a great running back though. And Comrade Golish, shout out to you. You are a champion of life, and bring on the dogs. I want them.
Thank you. Great talking to you. Matt, am I seeing things, or did Brennan Thompson just catch a 47-yard touchdown, or are they calling that back? What's going on here, Matt? You're ahead of me. Is it 17-0 Mississippi State?
Touchdown.
Is it 17-0 Mississippi State? Is this happening? I mean, what in the world is going on? What a crazy, crazy day of college. It's going to stand. This Dillingham guy, they're getting the absolute hell beaten out of them down there.
He's going just berserk on the sidelines, too.
They're getting ambushed, Matt. This is their work. And we know when you get down there and you get the cowbells and all that nonsense, Cinco, that becomes the 5th toughest game now on Tennessee's schedule. Easily. Playing down there in 3 weeks. That's going to be a hell of a battle, hell of a test for us. Our first real road game.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. But look, that team, Arizona State just doesn't know. I mean, everyone in the SEC knows when you go down to Starkville. I mean, you literally have to. It's hot in Arizona, but right now you got to breathe with a spoon. The air's so thick with humidity down there.
Yep.
The cowbells sound. I don't know if you can hear it on TV, but it's like the loudest locust swarm you've ever heard. And not only that, I don't care who's the coach, whether it's Meatloaf, whether it's anybody down there. All they do at Mississippi State is just knock the living hell out of you for 4 quarters. That's all they do. You can beat them, but you're going to come out of there black and blue, and Arizona State just didn't know it.
Back to the phones we go, yeah. And now their quarterback's really set up where you go against an SEC defensive line that can tee off on you. And it's just a different animal. It's kind of like what Tennessee's going to see next week in Neyland Stadium. And Georgia, through 2 weeks, absolutely sleptwalk. Matt, there are people in our fan base, and more power to them, that want to draw stuff from Georgia's first 2 games. Matt, I was talking to Sean about this earlier. What do you draw, Matt, from Georgia's first 2 games? You draw any hope from the fact that they've kind of moped around for 8 quarters of football, Matt?
Yeah, not a ton to take away from it. Running game's still a work in progress. Their offensive line's not been very good the little bit I've watched them. But their offensive line wasn't very good last year. I think Ole Miss killed them, and then the next week they stonewalled our defensive line. So I wouldn't put a whole lot into that. I mean, it's certainly a game Tennessee can win.
Sure.
I mean, there's nothing. It wouldn't be crazy for Tennessee to win that game with a guy making his first start on the road. But I'm not going to base anything on Georgia based on these first 2 games.
Hey, Brian Hartman, what's your Connexial drive of the game, brother, before we go back to the phones? Lay it on me here on Garza Law 5th quarter fan reaction. We'll get back to our TLD logistics phone
I got
lines.
to go to the Mike Matthews touchdown catch.
Let's go.
He leaped, and the one where the long TD from Aguilar there that made it, I think it was 24-0. I think that's what it made it there in the second quarter. So that's mine. That was finally a play because the game was kind of lulling you to sleep. There just wasn't much. It was just kind of like 10 yards here, 5 yards there, maybe 10 yards another place, and you had all these short TDs, and you finally had a big play, exciting one.
I love the call, Bri. And I smell what you're cooking, because when he completes the pass to Joey Aguilar, there's 4:18 to go in the first quarter, or in the first half, rather. Deep left. He caught it at the ETSU. 5 took it in. 53-yard touchdown. And that is a great call by Brian Hartman. And Tennessee, I'll tell you this. That's a drive that began back on the Tennessee 20. It comprised 5:38. And Brian's right. They kind of go with the no huddle, and they move it around, and then Aguilar, as a caller pointed out earlier, sort of improvised on that play a little bit. Sort of improvised on that play a little bit. And my friends at Connexial want to remind you that when it's time for your drive, it's time for your logistic and transportation needs, they are your tech company of choice. They're a proud sponsor of the My 20 Drive of the Game right here on Garza Law 5th quarter fan reaction for 3 years now. Their transportation platform revolutionizing your trucking industry nationwide. Of course, the goal, make your fleet more efficient, make your drivers on our roads safer, take control of your fleet, improve your safety scores, make drivers happy, and maximize your profitability. Keep us all safer on the roads. So get ready to win this year. Connexial.com for more information. Again, Connexial.com, and they say go Vols. Drive life with Connexial. and G to the B to the O. And let's go back to the phones on the show. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, man. It's Rusty.
Hey, buddy.
Talk. Thanks, brother. Hey, buddy. Wanted to talk Tennessee today and a little bit about the ball game. But before I do, I want to say that I'm in before Florida says that Florida's still going to beat Tennessee's ass, no matter what else. Before he starts throwing that out there, and before he calls you a hater on the air for all you ever do is talk about this is a good Florida team and the schedule's unfair, and all he does is actually is to be the one that's the hater because he doesn't really care about Florida winning. He only cares about Florida beating Tennessee.
Yeah, I tell you what, Rusty. We knew they had a brutal schedule. Did you ever dream that's how Florida team would be that good? Physical. They were physical with them today, man.
I thought South Florida was had a real shot at the playoffs, but I still thought they were going to be 10-2, losing to Miami and losing to Florida.
So did I.
And make the playoffs.
Yep.
The first thing I was going to do is I was going to read you Florida's schedule right quick.
Yeah, hit it.
They just played South Florida and lost.
Right.
They're going to LSU next Saturday when we play Georgia. They're going to Miami the week after.
Oh.
Then they got a bye. Then they get to host Texas. Then they're going to A&M.
Oh.
So there's a real chance they're going to lose the next 4, like a likelihood of it. And then they get a reprieve of playing at home against this Mississippi State team who is taking it to Arizona State. And then after that, they got Georgia in the party. And then they go to Kentucky, who's beat them 4 out of 5 times. Oh, and then they go to Ole Miss the next week.
Hey, Matt, now I'm not being funny here, Matt. How many games is Florida going to win now that they've done what they've done today? I'm not trying to be funny here.
I think maybe 7 at the absolute most. And that's being generous.
Every game
you didn't even mention Florida State.
They'll probably beat Texas because the Manning's not going to win in Gainesville. And so that probably upsets them.
Matt!
But no, like Rusty said, they could lose every game for the next month and a half.
You're right, though, Rusty. That schedule, if you're a Florida fan tonight, you know what you're doing? You're over there circling what coaches you want. That's a conversation you're having on a call-in show right now.
Yes, they are. Tony, these are the games that you would look at the remaining on their schedule, and you would say, these are games they should win. Mississippi State and Kentucky. That's it. The rest of them, they're going to be big-time dogs.
It's going to be really interesting, man, what's left of them by the time we get there. It's going to be really interesting.
Is Lagway going to be in the portal by then? Is Napier is his assistant coach going to be the head coach at that point, and they're in the market for the Tulane coach, or they've already tried to hire Golish? I mean, there's no talent. Anyway, I want to get off of that. Aguilar made the play that I think was the best play of the day was when he was about to be sacked on the last drive of the first half, and he kept his head up while being wrapped up by a 300-pounder. Bar it being ETSU, he's about to take his first sack of the year, and he keeps his head up and stays off the ground and gets a ball out to Brazil on the flat, his safety valve, and it turns into like an 11-yard completion. That is playing quarterback. That's not throwing a football or jumping over a stack of weights or whatever at the gym. That's not freak athleticism. That's being a quarterback. And then he now has doubled the amount of off-script touchdown passes thrown by a Josh Heupel quarterback against all other 3 combined. We had thrown 1 off-script touchdown pass in the previous 4 years. He's now thrown 2 with the touchdown pass to Matthews today and the 1 to Star Thomas last week. Joe Milton threw a touchdown pass his first game against Bowling Green. Is the only time anybody's ever broke the pocket and had to make a throw downfield for a touchdown. That's the only time. Hendon never did. Nico never did. Joe didn't do it again. And Joey's done it twice in 2 ball games.
And we
because
love
he
it,
fills
right?
the position.
I love that stuff. Hey, Matt, here's the thing, right? When you play in league games, does that become dangerous, Matt? The improvising stuff? Or no? Or do you like seeing it? What camp are you in?
No, I like seeing it, but it does become dangerous once you play against better athletes like that. The thing to Matthews today is he probably doesn't get it off in a SEC game, and it's almost certainly not caught by a guy who I don't even think he was throwing it to on the play. But no, you want a guy that can make plays when things break down. That's what great quarterbacks do, because teams eventually can figure things out, and you've got to have that gamer guy that's gonna get you that 8-yard completion when it's 3rd and 6. Like, you have to have those guys to make those plays. It's just fascinating that Aguilar kind of has a green light to be improv and do things when he's flushed from the pocket, where I swear Hendon Hooker didn't. And that's really an interesting kind of wrinkle that we see this year.
That's a really good stick, Rusty, by you.
Well, the other thing was Hooker had a bunch of times where he improv'd and went and ran a touchdown. He broke and took off.
He would always
but his
run.
Eyes didn't stay down.
He would always run.
His eyes didn't stay.
That's
his
exactly
eyes didn't
right.
stay downfield.
That's exactly
looking
right.
for a target to throw to. And I agree with everything Matt said. You don't really want him doing that most of the time. I mean, I guess a ball, if it gets picked, it's a punt, and it was a 3rd and 8 on that play anyway. But the real point of it, the only thing I disagree with Matt on with that is it was intended for Matthews. Joey pointed to Matthews and told him to go, and I'm going to throw it up. He actually called Matthews out down that sideline.
Yeah, he called it, didn't he?
And actually Travis Smith just ran into the area also, which made it look more congested. It should have just been, Matthews and the guy that was covering him in the area, but it ended up being another defender because Smith brought him over there. But anyway, it was intended for Matthews. But all in all, great to see Brazil play well. Great to see Matthews do more than just that catch. Matthews had a couple of times where he touched the ball, and you just see it when he has the ball in his hands. When he catches it, he's got wiggle that we didn't have last year.
You're right, and I tell you this: I love the start to this season, Rusty. Now you tell me that, because I'm a believer that this Georgia deal. You're seeing it today. Anything can happen in any of these games. And I'm going to squawk all week about how we can do this, because I do believe we can do it. But, man, it's going to take an unbelievably great effort to beat those dudes. They're so good.
We can beat them.
They're so good.
We can beat them. We were right there with them. We led the ball game last year against a better quarterback in Athens, and we had a worse quarterback than we do now. But like it was brought up earlier, Kirby is the only guy until Ohio State that's been able to play man-to-man across the board against us, just play man-to-man, cover the 5 receivers, put 2 safeties deep while doing it, and that's 7 people, and then stop our run with 4 guys.
Run. That's right.
4 guys.
That's
using
right.
4 defensive line, or 3 defensive linemen and a linebacker to stop our run and not committing extra numbers to the box. We have to find a way to be able to beat that, and I don't know that Patrick Mahomes beats it if you make him play from the pocket and you can't run the ball against Georgia when they're just using 4 guys to stop us.
Thank you, Rusty.
That'll be that's the chess match.
It's going to be so much fun. Thank you, man. And that's a great point about the off-script stuff, because Aguilar, I love that stuff, but, and here's the big but, it gets you in trouble in big games, because you do that stuff in tight windows. You try that stuff against Georgia, and the ball could get picked off in a hurry. But I do celebrate the fact that he does keep his head up. I do celebrate the fact that so far he doesn't give up on plays. I do celebrate the fact that he shows a lot of toughness. I do celebrate the fact that we've got a lot of life around this football season I think we're going to have. So, I mean, there's a lot to feel good about here. Johnny Utah over on YouTube with a super chat says the following, and Johnny, thank you. Hey, Matt and Bri, you guys kick this around. You tell me. I'm guessing the Florida loss guarantees game day to Knoxville. Is game day in Knoxville next week, guys? Have they announced? Do you all know? Do they announce that tonight, Bri, later tonight?
I think they announce it Sunday before.
They
want to wait till all the games are played, and then they'll make that determination. Unless there's something that's just obvious.
If not here, where would they go? Any idea, guys? If you could, one of y'all could look down at that schedule and let me know, because it seems like Knoxville will be the place to be next week with Georgia in town. So incredible. I mean, what a weekend for me, Matt. Getting to hang out with Al Wilson yesterday. And, of course, Bino. But getting to hang out with Al Wilson yesterday down at Calhoun's on the river. I mean, are you kidding me? Florida losing to South Florida. Tennessee scoring on 10 of their first 12 possessions. I don't care if we're playing against air. Scoring on 10 of your first 12 possessions.
They could be at Notre Dame for Texas A&M and Notre Dame.
Oh, that's
a possibility.
That's an interesting game.
That's an NBC game.
Yep.
Tennessee, Georgia's ABC. I guess Florida, LSU's probably ABC as well.
Yep. And they just kicked. And Johnny Utah's thoughts are that kicks the moorings out from under the Florida matchup because it really subverts any type of hype for that game. Because now the expectation is that LSU is going to go in there and swallow them whole, which might just happen, by the way, as we go back to our phones. I mean, they might just swallow them, feathers and all, so to speak, if gators have feathers. What do gators have, Matt? What are those prickly things on them called? Hello and welcome. Scales and all, maybe? Skin and all? Yeah. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Hi.
Feel it, brother.
Feel this.
Tony B. Tony, I was down here.
Yep.
This huge Florida fan. I was talking to him
Yep.
Thursday or Friday.
Yep.
This dude played football down there, high school football. He said he knocked Warren Sapp out as a freshman in high school. Warren Sapp was a running back and come through the hole, and he said he knocked him out, which that has yet to be confirmed. But he literally told me, brother, our first game is LSU. Come on, man.
Yeah, I think he better. I think he better get ready for his schedule. I think they had their first game today.
They might not. Dude, Napier will be out before. I don't know. He might be out before that Mississippi State game. But I tell you what, if they lose, I expect them to lose all these. And hell, if Mississippi State goes in there and beats them, that'll be the nail in the coffin for him. Tony, what? I'm looking at these rankings, and I know our schedule wasn't the greatest last year, and we kind of backdoored our way, I guess you could say, into the playoff. But hell, we still made the damn playoff. How? I mean, and I know this is on bulletin board for Heupel. They disrespected us, bro.
Why?
All these teams, they've got South Carolina. I mean, granted, South Carolina came on at the end of the year last year, but didn't they lose their bowl game or did they win?
Bowl games don't matter.
Well,
they lost to Illinois, by the way, in their bowl game. But
bowl games don't matter.
They're ranked number 10, and
That's
I mean,
fine.
and all these other. Was Nico that? Did they think Nico was that good?
Sammy, the whole thing, as a wise man once said, man, we got to let the stuff play out. And
yeah,
and it's going to. And
shout out Roger.
Shout out Roger. Shout out R.I.P. Roger. And Roger told me one time, he goes, it's like Jimmy Heim says, you got to let it play out. You got to let it play out. And I was like, okay, Rod, sure. But you do have to let it play out, and cream's going to rise. We're in an era right now where those ratings have never meant less. Because we talked about it in the preseason. When you look at teams 0 through 8, okay? And you think about it like 1 through 8. Okay, fine. 1 through 5, I think those are the 5 best teams. Everybody wants to debate who the 5 best are. You get team 7 to team 30, and anybody can beat anybody. That's what we saw today with that Florida game. Team 30 beating allegedly a team hovering around the top 10. That's what we saw today. So any of these teams, and we're in that mix. We can either have somebody or we can be had on any given day, depending on, do you turn the ball over? Do you take care of the ball? Do you make enough plays? All those things. How clean's your game, penalty-wise? But really, I mean, yeah, I would rather Tennessee go through the back door than be lauded like some of these teams are, personally.
Hey, quick update.
Yeah.
It's UNLV 10, UCLA nothing in the first quarter.
And I'm getting reports over here on
days coming to Knoxville. They just confirmed it.
There you go. So great call.
So for all the casuals that want to go watch that.
Great call by Johnny Utah. And Matt just called y'all casuals. They're going to go watch that. Matt is so great.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do? Go over there and just boo Nick Saban? I mean, that shows,
Not if you're a Bammer. If you're a Bammer, you'd want him to touch your cloak so he could heal you.
It was great last week for Corso, but that show lost its soul a decade ago.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, and McAfee's a clown. I mean, but I don't know. It's still, you can get up and you saw the kid today. Hell, tell whatever Knoxville kid they bring out there, strap some spikes on and damn kick the thing up through there, bud.
Let's go.
Tony, like some of the previous callers have talked about, this team just seems so much more dialed in as a unit. And this guy has lifted these guys up. He's not wanting to be out in front and have all the limelight and just, kind of fly under the radar and be the millionaire. Dude, these receivers are locked in. This three-headed monster coming out of the backfield, they're going to run it down Georgia's throat to the tune of over 200 yards again. It's going to be a 2-touchdown victory for the Vols. Tony, this team, I'm telling you right now, the rankings are BS, but they still feel like they've been counted out and nobody believes in them or gives them a fair shake. And everybody's going to know after next weekend, because Kirk Herbstreit's going to witness this, because we're going to come in there and tear Georgia's kingdom down, brother.
Go! Go! 865-200-5402. Shout out Josh Collins, my Collins Insurance Agency. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Ask him about Erie Insurance. Ask him about the rate lock guarantee they have, and experience the Collins Insurance difference. My man Josh Collins will take incredible care of you. C now joins the room of TGMD, C, and Briney B, and Tony B and Briney on Thursday. And he's with Winners and Losers, presented by our friends at Dos Equis /VIP play on our Thursday as we pick our plays. AC, you're pretty hot this week, man. I'm not going to lie to you. And you called South Florida a live dog on Thursday, and I kind of laughed at you. And they were a live dog, see? Now, here's my question for you as you unmute yourself. What are we to make of the Florida Gators, and what are we to make of what's going on in the SEC right now in light of this the way that Mississippi State looks with Arizona State right now? And how do you not overreact to this stuff from week to week?
Can you hear me?
Go right ahead. I sure can.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure I called the USF Florida game, but I have been high on USF. Obviously, we talked about it in the preseason. I thought they were the favorite to be the Group of 5 representative. Obviously, their schedule is their only impediment. And now they've beaten both Boise and Florida. I think that they can afford to lose next week to Miami and then probably a game in the American and still comfortably get that Group of 5 spot at 10-2. What was your next question, Tony? Sorry.
Well, Orange Blood said that I owe you an apology for the Baylor deal, for ragging you over that. You were on the wrong side and still won that bet. I took SMU today over at VIP play and got beat by the hook. You urinate me off. You were on the wrong side and won that bet today, and it's utterly disgusting. No offense to you. But what I was talking about is trying to reassess the league in real time. John Adams and I were talking about this earlier today. You have to trust your eyes, right? And right now, is Mississippi State, for instance, are they better than we thought they were? Or has Arizona State just lost so much that they're just kind of a hoopty playing on the road?
No, they have not. No.
They haven't lost
17 starters, but the problem is Cam Scatterby covered up a lot of their
That's my
deficiencies
point.
last year.
That's my point.
I talked about this on Winners and Losers. I watched a lot of. I mean, talk about a sicko. I watched last Saturday night a lot of Northern Arizona, Arizona State, and the score doesn't really show how kind of inept Arizona State looked. I do think Mississippi State's obviously improved, and I was kind of talking about that being the fifth toughest game on the schedule all week. I think you kind of got into that too, but in the secondary, especially, Mississippi State added a lot. And Arizona State doesn't really have any playmakers outside of Tyson, who's obviously he's projected to be a first-round pick at receiver. But outside of that, they don't have a lot of playmakers. So I think it says more about Arizona State than Mississippi State. I do think Mississippi State is a lot better than the very bottom of the league, the Kentuckys. And I know Kentucky had a kind of a good game plan today, but I still think Kentucky and Arkansas are quite a bit worse than Mississippi State. So I'm not too surprised by I gave out, I think, Mississippi State on the show as well. But it's more about Arizona State kind of being a little bit inept, I think, offensively, especially. I mean, Mississippi State is improved defensively, but they should not be shutting anybody out through 25 minutes of game time.
Hey, John.
So, I think that Florida is probably the biggest surprise, I'd say, in the league so far, along with Alabama last week. Nothing else really in the league's been too much of a surprise outside of, I guess, Arch not looking too sharp, and then obviously the Florida deal today. They shouldn't have lost USF, even though USF is kind of probably going to be the Group of 5 playoff team.
John Adams joins, presented by Jennifer Morris. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. Hey, John, you of the Knoxville News Sentinel / that conglomerate. From your perspective, Tennessee goes out today.
Knoxnews.com, our USA Today network.
And by the way, John,
thank you
for that. Thank you for that terrific article you wrote on our move over to Fan Run Radio earlier in the week. Thank you for that, John. In the meantime,
sure, I try to help your career as much as possible.
Interesting. In the meantime, Tennessee was very sharp today. Sean Sinclair was in here earlier, really appreciating on the fact that the Vols played 3 quarterbacks, looked extremely sharp with each one. This team is kind of in an early groove here, John. That's not easy to do, the way the Vols look today, because you can really lose your focus when you're playing an opponent like that. There's a lot to like through 2 weeks for the Vols right now.
Yeah, I think mainly because there were so many questions going into the season on offense, and they've answered those questions against outman competition. You got to keep that in mind, though. Tennessee looked dominant in its first 3 games last year against inferior opponents. Now you've got 2 games this year, and it looks the same way. I mean, I'm not any higher on this team right now than I was on last year's team after 3 straight wins. I thought that was a dominant-looking team and seemed like a complete team. Every facet of the game it seemed quite competent in. But you know what we're learning every week? Some of these opponents are so overmatched. ETSU is one of the most helpless teams I've ever seen in Neyland Stadium. And we saw that last year with Chattanooga. We see it every 3 or 4 years. We see a team that badly overmatched. So it's kind of hard to it's just really hard to say how good Tennessee is because of the nature of the competition. But better to look this dominant than to come out and be sloppy. Strangely enough, at halftime, Josh Heupel was criticizing how sloppy the team was.
Yeah, he was mad. That's right.
Yeah. Well, that's what a good coach does when things are going really well. And he's not seeing what he wants to see. I mean, he expects to see domination on every play, every possession against a team like ETSU. Boy, that is one of the things that has really got my attention the first few weeks. The disparity in some games. I mean, look what some of these opponents, Florida State, what it did today, Minnesota winning 66-0, just outrageous scores. I'll be glad when we get into conference play.
I'll tell you one of the locks of the year, if you're paying attention, is this thing with Dan Lanning and this coach at and I mean, you talk about a guy that spackles it on. That when I had hair, I spackled it on at one time. That head coach at Oklahoma State, he's got more hair black I mean, he looks like he uses Kiwi shoe polish number 4 on his head.
That's a coach who might not last the season.
At any rate, he talked mad trash on Oregon. And my guys on Winners and Losers the other night were like, listen, the last guy that did that was Deion Sanders, and he beat him from pillar to damn post and made an example out of him. And, Matt, I don't know if you saw this today, but when Lanning was scoring early in the game, they kept going for 2. And he kept looking over there at Oklahoma State sideline, and I lost eyes on that thing at 59-3. Because, listen, I like carnage like the rest of us. You know, we all like to croon our head at carnage. But, geez, man, 59-3, I'm going to jump off at that point. Does anybody have a final in that game?
69-3.
Go!
Yeah, talk about overmatched opponents. That's a Big 12 team. I guess maybe in name only at this point. The NIL era has not been kind to Mike Gundy out there.
And you know, excuse me, Matt, but this is not the time or place to be talking about. The last thing you want to tell your team is that other team's getting paid a lot more than you are. That's a real motivational issue going into a game. Hey, those guys are making a lot more money than you guys. Now go get them. No, that was the worst possible message you could send. I thought you talk about locks of the week on Blake Topmeyer's and mine SEC podcast. My pick was Kent State. Texas Tech giving 48.5 points to Kent State, which is a worse program in FBS. And they only won after leading 38-0 at the half. They only won by 48. So I missed on my lot. My other one was South Florida, though, getting all those points against Florida. I'm like, I really thought it could win the game.
I would encourage any Florida fan to look down at your schedule and then look down at your schedule again. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on Garza Law, 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. John Adams in the house. C, TGMD, and Brian Hartman. My name's Tony Basilio, and you're on the air. You're on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Hello and welcome in.
Hey, Tony, it's Taggart.
Hey, Tag. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, if I was any better, I really couldn't stand myself. It's so wonderful to see Tennessee put up a really good offensive, defensive performance, and then see Florida go down to South Florida. It really concerns me that Florida may have Alex Golesh as a coach before the end of the season. But,
I'll tell you this about the Golesh guy. He just jumped into the public consciousness tonight. Now, they knew they had a nice team, and they spent some money on their ball club, and they're not afraid to play the others. You know, this has been extremely strategic what South Florida's done. John, this is no longer Jim Leavitt's South Florida squad. They've spent money on their roster. They went out there tonight and looked physical with Florida, guys. It was really impressive.
Well, yeah, particularly because they did it in back-to-back games. We don't just have one game to evaluate. Boise State, a lot of people had Boise State selected as the team most likely to represent the group of 5 in the playoff, and they have a history of winning games, winning tough games. And South Florida didn't just beat them. It really whipped Boise State. Normally a physical team, really whipped Boise State at the line of scrimmage and then to come out against Florida. But Florida's going into the season, I just thought Florida was overrated because of the way the end of last season played out. I just think its overall depth of talent is not as good as the better Florida teams, not even close. And I like DJ Lagway a lot, but that team was, it's just not that good. We'll see about. So I thought Florida and South Carolina, both nationally ranked teams, were overrated, and I'm starting to think now that Mississippi State and Arkansas are underrated.
Going to be interesting, guys. Hey, Taggart, this thing, if that score holds with what's going on right there with Arizona State and Mississippi State, we're going to be walking into a really, really difficult environment here in about 3 weeks.
Let me get to that here in a second.
Yes, sir.
But Michigan is getting ready to go down 14-0.
Yes, they are.
Oklahoma is inside the damn 10. And I'm really liking that. I can't stand Big Ten teams, but you probably couldn't guess that. But anyway, let's get back to the Mississippi State game. Okay, 14-0 or a 13-0 right now. Oklahoma over Michigan. They just scored. But here's what I'm going to offer you, Tony. Either you and Matt, you and Bri, Matt and Bri, I have got 2 extra tickets. My daughter and son-in-law cannot go to the game with me and Mrs. Taggart to the Mississippi State game. If any of you guys want to go, all you got to do is pay your way to get down there. I will give you the tickets to go in with us.
Outstanding.
We've got 4 together at Mississippi State, and we're going down there. And my daughter, they have to go to a wedding. So just tell Matt, save my number. And if you guys want to do that, if any of you 2 want to go with us, I've got 2 tickets.
Stay right there. I'm going to have Laura write your number down, Taggart. Stay right there. That's my man right there. Line 1. Uno. Guys, I'm sitting here first time all night. Nico's playing. I got my eyes on it. It is 10-0 right now. Okay, my folks on YouTube cued me to this. It's over on CBS Sports Network. Nico is so invisible, John, 2 weeks into the season. It's so interesting. He's totally invisible. This UNLV team is up 10-0 on them with the ball on their 25-yard line and getting ready to go score again. Not a smart move by Nico, John. And really, not even worth hate watching him. They're so bad, John.
Are they going to go 0-12?
I mean, what is going through his brain right now when he thinks about he could have been playing next week in a game where College Game Day's coming here, the game of the year in the deal, and he's so far off the radar right now you couldn't even find him with a search warrant. What a terrible mistake. Thank goodness.
But that's not a shocker. We thought that last spring there was a horrible move. I mean, UCLA lost basically its entire defense from last year. Pretty decent defense last year. Limited offensively. Doesn't have a lot of NIL money. There's a reason Chip Kelly, who did okay there given the circumstances, there's a reason he left UCLA to be an offensive coordinator at Ohio State. He knew he couldn't win there, yet Nico transfers there. And we were having this discussion in our newsroom this past week.
Touchdown UNLV, John. Sorry, it's 16-0 now. Go ahead.
Okay, and Oklahoma just scored so it's 14-0 there.
Wow.
Against Michigan. Yeah, we were having this discussion, and I'm thinking, I almost could if UCLA loses to UNLV, I almost could write a Nico column and probably get a lot of page views on it. And then the argument, I think people might be getting tired of hearing about Nico. So what do you think? Do you think people are tired of hearing it? Or do you think they're reveling in his failure? Our Tennessee audience.
I don't think I think people wanted to revel in it. I think it's such a sad story, John, that it's almost going to seem like piling on. Matt, don't you get that sense? I talked to so many people who, like I had a couple people yesterday at Calhoun say, I read what you wrote, talking about me, on Monday about how I started out, going, hey, I really want to see this guy get humiliated. And then I was watching him get humiliated, and I was like, man, this guy's dad did a really terrible thing to him. And Matt, his team is awful. He's got more sacks in the first half, Matt, than completions, basically.
Yeah, well, he's pressured on every drop back pretty much. And he has no chance, and he's not. And we saw last year, he's just not good enough to elevate the players around him. and he really doesn't even have an opportunity to do that out there. Which we all saw this coming. Like John said, this was the kind of the obvious thing to anybody that has a functioning brain besides Joel Klatt. Everybody knew this was an awful move for Nico. But no, at some point you just kind of feel sorry for him and move on. I mean, Tennessee certainly moved on and is obviously going to come out on the better end of this, and maybe a lot better than anybody hoped.
Hey, C, tell the living listener what you told me today when I asked you if you were going to watch out while we were doing Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction tonight.
I mean, I just kind of scoffed. I had no interest in watching a game like that. Two atrocious teams. I watched a little bit of Nico last week and got my fill of it. We knew, like both John and Matt said, we knew this was going to be an awful, awful UCLA team. They might be even a little worse than we thought. They lost their top 13 tacklers last year. 10 of 11, they returned one starter on defense. Their portal haul on the offensive line was embarrassingly bad on paper. They brought in a couple guys off some of the worst offensive lines in the country. Tulsa, who was atrocious offensively last year, couldn't protect anybody. That was one of their key guys they brought in. They have no playmakers. I mean, it's an awful, awful roster. I don't know how anyone thought that this had any chance of success. I think New Mexico and at Northwestern are their chances maybe to get a win, but I think they probably have a better chance of going 0-12 than 2-10.
And they, by the way, they were a 2-point favorite tonight. Let the record show. And they are getting.
I thought UNLV was a good pick in that, Tony.
Oh, no doubt, John. Yeah, and they're getting
here's the reason,
dog whipped.
Here's the reason I don't feel sorry for Nico.
Okay, go ahead.
It's his career. I mean, you can say, yeah, his dad made this move. Well, he's not 12 years old. I believe you need to be accountable for your decisions. He came here to Knoxville, and he made millions of dollars. Millions of dollars.
I know, but the family's spending it all.
Well, fine. But I don't feel the least bit sorry for him. Those were the decisions he made. He chose to come to Tennessee. He got all the money he could out of Tennessee. And he vamooses, goes back to the West Coast, and says he wanted to be closer to home. Give me a break. Didn't his home bodies all pretty much move here? I mean, a lot of them did, I think.
Nation of 3,000. One of them plays quarterback for Alcoa, for crying out loud.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't have any sympathy for him. Wow. He made millions of dollars.
To the phones.
How many people make millions of dollars in their life?
To the phones we go. My friends at Alumni Hall, nobody does it like them. They are absolutely fired up, focused, and prepared for that Georgia game next week. Game day is going to be here. You want to look your best. Let me tell you something. There's one place, and the best place to shop for Tennessee gear, that's Alumni Hall. Best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family, Brian Kelly. Top brand names like Nike and Champion and Columbia and Peter Millar. You can load up on hats and accessories and Yeti. Tremendous tailgating accessories as well. You download the Alumni Hall app, click the account. It'll tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. You earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. And they've got physical locations in Murfreesboro and Bristol. 3 in Knoxville when you come in for the game. Now open in Johnson City. So pop into Alumni Hall or head over to alumnihall.com and tell them that Tony B sent you. If we go back to our TLD Logistics phone lines, John Adams does not feel a modicum sorry for Nico. I feel sorry for the guy. And he plays on a trash football team, and I wanted them to at least be interesting to watch. As Arizona State is lining up for a long field goal at the end of what's been a long half,
knew they were making that after Mississippi State gifted them that chance.
And that's exactly what happened after an interference. They gifted them a chance, yes.
How many people won't be at the next UCLA home game?
17-3 now is the score. It's going to be Nico and the Nation of 3,000 before it's over, Brian. They're going to have about 3,000 people, and they're all going to be his family members.
Maybe 300.
Hey, John, it's going to look like
he needs to find 5 of those 3,000 that can block for him.
It's going to
They play on Friday night this week. Friday night Island game against New Mexico.
Friday night against New Mexico. Here's the deal. It'll look just like one of those Tennessee practices last year where a couple of Nico's cousins are over there playing Coke can football over in the corner while practice is going on. Gaw! Hello and welcome in as Mississippi State leads 17-3 over Arizona State in what can be termed a shocking result for Jeff Lebby, because the levee is dry right now for Arizona State. Hello, welcome in. You're on the air. Oh, come on now,
Tony.
Yes.
Hey, Tony, it's JB from Atlanta. How you doing, man?
JB.
First time caller.
Hey, it's an honor to talk to you, my friend.
Hey, man, I got the heartbeat in Atlanta, man. The bull puppies are scared, man. They do not have a quarterback. Gunnar Stockton, man, they think he's got a squirt gun. That's just a heartbeat I'm feeling from all the buddies here, and I take it all the time from Georgia fans, and they just feel like they don't have a quarterback. And,
do you believe
I think that we do have a quarterback? We got Joey Football, man.
Joey Football.
I love it. He has made the plays. Yep. Rusty kind of took my vibe about the play when he rolled outside, and he threw the ball. He just got it between the ears, man. He let it out, and I love it. He's making all the plays, and I feel really good about our season.
Who on the panel is ready to proclaim this quarterback has a pop gun arm? Is anybody on the panel ready to proclaim that after what we saw and join our friend in Atlanta? Anybody?
No, I think his arm's better than that. I mean, he's completed about 70% of his passes in 2 games against weak opposition.
Yeah, they're playing nobody.
Yeah, I know, but Joey Aguilar hadn't played anybody either. I think
Syracuse better. No,
I think Tennessee, from what I've seen against outman opponents, I would say Tennessee has a quarterback advantage against Georgia.
There you go. That's what I want to hear.
I would say that too. That's the opinion of Georgia fans I'm feeling. That's not my opinion. I don't know. I've watched the Georgia games. I've watched the Tennessee games, and I feel like we got the better quarterback.
What'll be really interesting is, and this is what you don't know about either one of these guys, till you get in a real tight Southeastern Conference football game, and I need you to make the right play, I really don't know what I have in you at quarterback till you get in one of those deals.
But, Tony, don't you feel like it's a blessing? I'm sitting here watching the UNLV game with UCLA.
Yes.
I feel like it's a blessing that we got Joey Football. After watching this, it just feels like Joey has it between the ears. He just gets it. He can play football. He makes plays. He's not like the Nerf ball you talk about during the week. He
Nerf
gets
ball.
Football.
And I don't want to pile on the guy by calling him Nico Nerf Ball, but that's just a great nickname for him.
Yeah, you're real sympathetic.
Well, I am, but he is Nico Nerf Ball.
Yeah, come on.
Well,
hey guys, I love you, Tony. First time caller, man. I enjoy the show. Appreciate it, man.
Love, thank you. How about the Georgia fans? Matt, are you buying them feigning some kind of concern for next week? Are you buying that Matt Dixon on this Saturday night? Where Brian Hartman said you better start believing. That was his take-home message 2 hours and 20 minutes ago when this foray into darkness began. Matt Dixon, what say you?
No, I think you've got a puncher's chance next week. You're playing at home, a place you've only lost once in the last 3 seasons. You're playing probably the best, maybe the most complete team in the SEC or best team. I don't know, maybe quarterback aside.
Yep.
A team that's kind of owned you. Really the only team that's really owned Tennessee since Heupel's been here. But you've got a chance, and like we said, whenever you just don't know how their quarterback's going to handle it. He obviously, played the second half of the SEC championship game last year and the playoff game against Notre Dame. Kind of mixed results there, but this will be his first true road game. And like Heupel said post game, it was really smart of him to bring up the fans because the fans can have a big impact on that game. Can have a massive impact.
And the hunger to beat somebody you haven't beaten in like a decade is going to be in the back of everybody's mind as well. So, see, tell the truth. How much of this UCLA game are you watching? I know you're dialed into it. You're a self-admitted degenerate. I know you're watching this game. You're a college football degenerate.
Tony, I'm watching Charlotte and North Carolina played in front of about 15,000 fans in Bank of America Stadium. That's what I'm watching right now, along with a little bit of what else do I have on here? I have Virginia Tech Vandy's at halftime. I'm mostly watching. I'm focused on Charlotte and North Carolina. It's a 2-possession game in the second half here. North Carolina's only up 17-3.
865-200-5402. C's foray in the madness presented by our friends at Dos Equis Lager Especial. And by the way, if you want to get in, we have one line available for you at 865-200-5402. It's been a very spirited evening as the Vols hang 72 on the board tonight, scoring in 10 of their first 12 possessions. Boo Carter came out of bubble wrap tonight. David Sanders remains in bubble wrap this evening. And a lot of intrigue heading into the Georgia game on a night where Florida stumbled against South Florida and Comrade Golish. And a couple of SEC teams are having pretty good early evenings here while Nico is faltering on the left coast out in Las Vegas.
But you're feeling really sorry for him as you keep bringing it up, how bad things are going for him.
My friend, ladies and gentlemen, when it's time for you to raise a glass, I want to encourage you to check out Dos Equis Lager Especial. That golden Pilsner-style beer made from the choice of hops, a clean, balanced composition that creates a smooth, clean finish. And let me tell you, you will absolutely celebrate, and you will go for Dos. Because if you go for Uno, you're going to go for Dos. A golden Pilsner-style beer, nuanced blend of malts and earth tones. Flavorful yet light tasting and smooth. Balanced composition, a clean finish. Dress it up, ladies and gentlemen. Rub that bottleneck, rub that can, rub that glass rim. Get a little lime, dip a little salt in it. Lick, drink, repeat. Say it with me, Dan Lanning. Every time you score, go for Dos. How many points did they score, Matt? Did you say 69? Against poor Oklahoma State. 69. Goal!
I looked at the score one time and it was 75, and I wondered if those who were just posting the score just inadvertently added 6 more points. They were scoring so fast that they probably thought, "Oh, did they?" I looked away. Maybe they scored again.
Hey, John. Speaking of which, I was so glad that in the Tennessee game, when Brazil caught that ball on the 1-yard line, they sat there and looked at it for like 8 minutes. I'm like, guys, it's a 60-point game right now.
Yeah,
quit looking at the damn replay. We get the picture.
Tony, that brings up something else that's really bothering me.
And then we'll go to our phones.
And I called you earlier in the day about this, and you were watching on YouTube.
Yes.
I pay for this ESPN app.
Yes.
It takes me about 5 minutes to get onto the game. You wait and wait and wait, and then you click. You wait and wait and wait, then you click.
Yes.
Every time it went to a commercial, it froze. So I had to get out of the app, go back in, and I would miss plays every time that happened. What is wrong with that?
Does it sound to you like John Adams has gotten a hold of Chris Ferguson's old cheater box that I used to watch wrestling pay-per-views on? That me and Chris Ferguson used to trade back and forth.
I've never had this happen before on that ESPN Plus.
Anybody technically
What were the odds of a Chris Ferguson reference tonight?
Anybody who was on Jerry Green's staff, and I guess Buzz's staff, shout out Fergie. But we used to trade a cheater box back and forth that we would watch wrestling pay-per-views on back in the day. I guess it was called a D-Scrambler. Does anybody have okay, Johnny Utah said my telecast was miserable and kept freezing as well.
Okay, so it's not just me. Every time there's something wrong with computer, because I'm an old guy, it's always, he probably screwed something up.
John, you're not old. You're just getting better, brother. You're not old.
Hello.
You have to get our next call in.
It's not. I mean, but I'm glad to hear that somebody else had a problem. But we're paying
Johnny Utah.
for this.
Johnny Utah, my brother. Hello and welcome into our next call.
Hello, guys.
Hey,
can y'all hear me?
Greg, welcome in.
hey, I've been doing something today, watching the game, and then had some things I had to do. So I'm getting in a little bit later than I wanted to. But anyway, wanted to say hello to you guys. Enjoy the big win. And our 3 quarterbacks, they all look great. And Joey football, I'm just thinking back to that very first arrow that he threw to the receiver in the end zone that was falling back down on his butt. And he fed that sucker like a doggone line to his numbers. I've never seen a pass that great in my life with the way the receiver was going down, and the ball met him right there.
Matthews. Yep.
Yeah.
It was beautiful,
That
man. And he was improvising, which is even better.
Yeah. That's what's so exciting about Joey football, guys. I don't care. I'm tired of hearing, well, they ain't played nobody. Well, they ain't played nobody. Well, look at the damn scare that Clemson had. They should have lost the game they played today.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
They were cruising for a bruising today, man. Those guys were.
But you got to play the game, no matter who you play against. And you got to make passes to the guy that's on your side has your jersey on. And you've got to make good runs. And they did great. I still got a problem with Heupel. And I'm going to throw this to all you guys. Do you think, well, let me say what I'm going to say about the reason why I'm kind of pissed off. They finally put Boo Carter out there. He had some hellacious punt returns, 3 punt returns for 89 damn yards, and almost got a touchdown, I think, on the last one he ran. And he takes him out and puts these other guys in that ran about a quarter, half of the yards that he did. Now, my question is Heupel the type of guy I've seen him put, you got a great running back in, he's pumping up the yardage, and then he goes out. And my thinking, that's the reason why we haven't had a Heisman Trophy candidate, even in the running, because he don't leave his guys in who are getting acclimated to the game as they go and getting better and better and better. But you put
he left Dylan Sampson in last year.
Yeah, and Hendon Hooker was going to win the Heisman Trophy if he didn't get hurt.
Hooker was on a Heisman path.
Yeah, he was going to win it. Yep.
Well, I'm not
Tony didn't think Dylan Sampson was good enough.
He had a receiver win the Blitnikoff.
Matt Basilio's over here catching strays. I'm just minding my own business catching strays over here, Greg.
Hey, UNLV's driving again, Tony, if you want to feel sorrier for Nico.
Hey, Matt. Greg, the thing about Carter tonight is I agree with what Heupel did, and here's why. You need him against Georgia next week. You want to get him out there, get him acclimated, get him used to doing what he did in the game today. You want to put him back there next week and hope he can steal you a touchdown because he's very capable of doing that. Now, I would have put him on offense today just to give Georgia something to think about. I hope they do something with him on offense next week. That's my hope. Because if you're going to play him and you're going to keep him on your roster and you're going to put up with what he did in the offseason, let him play both ways.
I was thinking that same thing, Tony. And the last thing, I'm just so happy that the 3 quarterbacks all scored today. And McIntyre, buddy, that kid looks good. I would love to see them kind of sneak one of those guys in, maybe McIntyre, sneak him in as a flanker or something during the game to take a pitch and throw it downfield or something.
Not a bad idea, John. That's not a bad idea. You put him out at wide receiver and let him throw an option pass. If you snuck him onto the field,
you can do that with any backup quarterback. Why?
Yep.
Where is this?
You can make that kid a holder too. That's not a bad idea.
He's an easy guy to sneak on the field. I think he kind of blends in with a lot of the other receivers.
Well, here's what else you could do. You could put him in on the kick return team and let him catch the kick, then throw it way across field, a lateral to another player.
Hey, Greg, they're trying.
He could run for
Greg,
a
they're
touchdown.
trying to crack on. Greg, they're trying to crack on you, and I'm not going to let them.
And John Adams calls himself a what? What are you? What type of work do you do for a living?
I'm a sports columnist. What do you do?
Is that what you do? Well,
come on, guys.
Now
this, you guys. Now, come on, Greg. I love you. Come on now, everybody. Everybody, turn the temperature
Tony,
down.
why are you
here.
getting so sympathetic for everybody? If somebody's that sensitive, I mean,
he's
come
not
on.
sensitive. See what
Let's
the
put the
see what the line of the night.
No,
though?
I was serious, Tony. I think that's what they should do. Use McIntyre on the kick return.
Greg,
team.
thank you. Great call. Greg in Columbia is my guy. I stand by you, Greg. But let's everybody turn the temperature down. Back to the phones we go. He looks like. Could you imagine if you snuck him out there? He looks like the condor out there. See, he's like 6'8".
Yeah, they might think
he would blend right. He would blend. Greg, I love you, but the visual of that does make me laugh. By the way, Vanderbilt's on the road to recovery here. They just scored a touchdown. Pavia is doing Pavia things, and pending the extra point, it's about to be 2017. But let's get our next.
UNLV just scored again.
Did they really?
Michigan just scored on the first play of the second half.
Nico's got a nice club around him. I think that Michigan game's the one to go to. I'm gonna go back to my 4-box again. I got to get reacclimated and back in the catbird seat and any other saying I can think of. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Tony B.
Yes.
Hey, this is Kevin in Muletown. How you doing, man?
Hey, Kevin, welcome in.
Man, George Mack, you just sneak him on in there. He won't notice a thing. But hey, brother, what a beautiful first 2 weeks. As a Tennessee fan, as the team, just a beautiful first 2 weeks. The team, they believe in Joey. You could tell. I believe in him. I just love it. We see Alabama lose the first week. We see Florida lose the second week. Let's finish off this hate trifecta next week and finish off Georgia. Let's just finish it off and do it.
The hate trifecta, as Dick
Be
Vitale
3 weeks
likes
in a
to
row.
say. How about that? Bama, Florida, then we do the honors with Georgia.
It's our turn.
I like it, man.
Hey, your boy Mike Hugian spent about 10 minutes talking about how Mississippi State
had no
sucks.
chance. Yes, he ripped the hell out of him. I said, Mike, it's going to happen tomorrow night. He goes, what's going to happen?
I faded his ass. I put my 401k on him.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Yugi!
So let's go. But hey, man, if you see the video of Joey's mom and Joey's grandma, that's what it's all about,
those
brother.
two
That's
crying?
why I believe in Joey.
Hey, let me tell you something. That kid could have been getting his ass beat tonight by UNLV. That's what would have happened to him because he would have had no
Yep.
football team around him. Think about that.
You're right, man.
And he's
You're
about
right.
to be. They cut him, and threw him out with the garbage. And he's going to be next week in the signature game of college football. He's going to be
They're
here.
going to have stories on him.
Yes.
They're going to be talking about him.
Yes.
Kirk Herbstreit or somebody's going to sit down with him and talk to him.
He might.
And they're going to.
Hey, he might pet
Pete
Kirk.
Thamel.
He might pet Kirk Herbstreit's Labrador before it's over.
Oh, Pete.
And Pete Thamel. That's Spedster. Thank you, my man. Good talking to you.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
Talk about a Spedster. 865-200-5402. I'm fired up, focused, and prepared right now. John, you think about that for a second. If Nico would have gone to UCLA, right, he would have been getting buried playing behind that team.
You mean if Joey would have gone to UCLA?
That's what I meant, Joey, because Nico did go to UCLA.
I just saw Justice Haynes run 75 yards for Michigan for a touchdown.
Pretty impressive.
I think Alabama might need him. And Ty Simpson is 17 for 17 passing.
We're going to have to pump the brakes on his replacement for a week, but It still might happen. It still might happen.
Well, maybe he'll throw an incompletion on his next pass.
Hello and welcome into our next call. You are on our Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction with a couple lines available as folks have jumped off. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony and Bobby. Hope you guys are well. Thanks for being there.
Yeah, good to see you yesterday.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great to see you too, friend. Man, it was so fun to be there today. Did you catch the whole Aguilar grandmom saga this week, Tony? Did that actually grace your desk at all?
How the grandma was coming in, and then her mom.
They needed. Yeah, they needed like help.
Yeah,
because she's older.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
And okay, how different is it to have a family? Your son is the starting quarterback and now a top 10 Heisman favorite at the University of Tennessee, and you're asking humbly for other people to help you instead of being like Big Nick, I need 67 more tickets because my grandma's needing to come to the game. You know what I mean? Like, how great is it as a fan base to have a family that gives a damn and wants to be here?
Well, she was asking the fans, too, like, how do I get around? And Laura turns to me and she goes, no offense, but her son's a starting quarterback at the
University.
I don't think she needs the help of the fans. I mean, I would think you could make a call to the athletic department. I mean, I would hope and say, hey, my elderly mom's going to come to the game. Can we make some arrangements for her? And I hope they got that squared away.
It just shows their humility too, and where they've been.
I agree with that.
You know, that's what I think.
I agree with that. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, because they don't know. It's not like we've been given everything our entire lives on a silver platter and get to ride in the Haslam's jet every Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that, and I love it. I love it. This kid,
she
Tony,
could have got some tickets from. Excuse me, but do you think she could have gotten some tickets from the Yamaleava family that they might still have a few Tennessee tickets?
How many did they have in a game last year, guys, when they would show them? Did they give Nico
Tony, I'm not exaggerating. The players sit right in front of me. If I hand on a ball, it's at least 25 a game. It was at least 25 people a game.
I'll bet you when that kid left, I'll bet you Danny White's pH in his blood changed when he knew he was getting 25 tickets back. No offense to Danny White.
Oh, Tony, you're the damn dean for a reason, buddy. That was a good one. I don't know. It's just fun. We're having fun. Everybody else is miserable. Alabama's miserable. Florida's miserable. We're having fun. We are due as a fan base. And I'm not going to throw any negative or shade tonight. I will say I think our second team quarterback played third tonight. That's what it seemed like to me. Just being there.
Oh, he's going to be running. McIntyre is going to be a really nice player here in that offense. Or somewhere in somebody's offense. He's going to be a really nice player in college football before it's over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I hope it's here, honestly. It would be good to go Joey, then him, then Faison, Brandon in 2 years and just stack them every 2 years from then out.
Yep.
And Peyton's grandson.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, Peyton's son. That's right, Marshall.
Peyton's son.
He's on the rise.
Yeah. Hey, I've got an ESPN Plus update from Jennifer Morris.
Yep.
Star Realtor. Quote from Jennifer: I had the same problem with the app. Every commercial froze and we had to go out, then back in. Missed a lot.
Back to the phones we go. When Jennifer says it, I believe it. So they need to get
you didn't believe it when I said it. You thought, he's probably doing something wrong.
John, you literally, well, I don't want to take people behind the scenes of our show.
Arizona State is on the march. They're inside the red zone. Early second half.
And it's a 17-3 game, Bryce, so they're trying to cut this thing to one score.
Yeah. They got some momentum after the field goal at the end of the first half, and they're driving down the field. First possession, second half.
Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Hi.
Hey, what's up, Tony Joshy?
Wings.
Tony, I got some laughter out of after USF beat Florida. Me and Artie were watching the game at Downtown Grill and Brewery on Gay Street. Also played USF money line live plus 630 while it was halftime during our game, during the Tennessee game.
There you go, man. That's what I call an investment. Yep. That's an investment in your future right there, brother. Some people, it's an education.
Hey, Hey, people are sleeping on this quarterback, Byron Brown. He's really good.
He made a great, and I mean a great decision in the open field tonight, running with the ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, what are you going to say? See, I heard you saying something.
No, I don't think anybody said anything, did they?
Oh, someone said something.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, guys, what did you think about Joey Aguilar's performance today? I thought he was pretty efficient, and he had no interceptions, which is always a plus in my book.
Guys, he's taking care of the football.
Yeah, and that was a knock on him for obvious reasons coming in. But also, as we've noted many times, quarterbacks in Josh Heupel's system just don't throw many interceptions.
Yep. And I don't know why this guy would be any different. Matt, do you see any reason why when we get into league play next week, why Aguilar would be different than these other quarterbacks in terms of – because we talked about him going off script, which he will do.
Yep.
And he could get you in trouble with that, but I don't really – that's not a concern of mine right now, Matt, for some reason. Should it be a concern? What do you think, Matt?
No, not really, because you throw to open receivers. I mean, maybe you have one of these arm punts that he's kind of lofted up. Maybe that bites you, but I mean, it's mostly safe throws. The long comeback that's kind of made an emergence again. We saw it a bunch today on the outside. All these throws are to open receivers. You're not throwing balls in the coverage very often. So no, I expect the interception numbers to continue to be way down for a Heupel quarterback.
I've also noticed when he moves and he's under some duress, he hasn't been under much in 2 games. But when he has been, he doesn't panic. He still looks like he's playing under control. He made another throw today, like the game against Syracuse, where he was going to his running to his left and made a really tough throw. He did that again in today's game, and those kind of things stick out to you because you know how a lot of QBs, when they get under pressure, they just become a different person.
Yeah. And guys, I feel like when the pocket collapses sometimes, we saw it during the Syracuse game last week, he can make a play with his feet.
Yep.
He's got some legs, yeah.
It's amazing.
So,
it's totally different than I thought it would be. Totally different than I thought he would be.
Guys, so far after the 2 games, can we say that Star Thomas is our best, most efficient running back on these 3 running backs?
Hey, Matt, do you feel the need to rank them, and if I made you rank them, would you put Star Thomas first, Matt, based on what you saw, based on what we've seen?
Maybe most complete because he's a big threat in the passing game if Tennessee and Heupel continue to use that. But I mean, him and Bishop are just kind of 1A and 1B right now. I mean, Bishop didn't hardly get many touches today, but Bishop makes big plays and just carries defenders every time he's out there. He's got a highlight play.
I agree, Matt. Tony, do you care if I nitpick a little bit? Is that okay?
I don't care. What the hell do I care?
All right. Okay. Yeah. That long throw that Joey made that was the touchdown to Matthews where he kind of ran into the ball, if that was Georgia, that would have been picked. But it was ETSU, so. And the other thing I wanted to nitpick about was the fumble inside the red zone before halftime. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
No, not. You talking about when the ball was when the ball went on the ground? Yeah, you got to get on the ball there. Yeah, you got to
fall on it. And there's nothing you could have done there to make a play. Just fall on it.
And he attempted to pick it up. They'll clean that up. But
yeah, they will. They'll get stuff cleaned up.
No, that's worth pointing out, though. You're right.
And I think I pretty much told everybody. I think this team, my floor is. For them is 8-4, but their ceiling is 10-2. If they beat this Georgia team, which very, very possible, Tone, I believe it, that they can play with the Dogs that Gunnar Stockton, this is his first true road game. If they do that, beat the Dogs next Saturday, Vols are going to be in the driver's seat for a playoff. Tony, you're the dean for a reason. GBS, see you guys.
You know, thank you, Joshy boy. The crazy thing about what he's saying is, you win next week, your season's totally different. It's see, you know the way I look at this Georgia game? You got ESPN coming in here. It's pretty bright lights, man. I mean, it's people say, well, we'll learn a lot about Aguilar. I think we've learned a lot about Aguilar already. He's a good story. Tennessee might or might not have enough team to do this next week, but, man, it's a great opportunity, see. This is exactly where you wanted to be coming into this game, where they are.
Yeah, no, you're right, Tony. It's very hard, I think, like you guys have said, to know what really Tennessee is. I think John made the point. It's very similar to last year, how it felt kind of early in the season with the kind of an overmatched ACC opponent and FCS opponent. It's hard to really look bad against those teams, but it is obviously there were so many unknowns that it's almost like we've gotten to see a scrimmage, and we're happy with what we've seen. That's kind of how I've looked at it. Is I don't think you can tell much about the quality of the team at all, but the eye test, it's looked good, probably better than expected, and we will get it you'll get a bite at the apple next week, which is all you can really ask for, I think. And you're playing one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the country next week, so I don't know if you're going to be probably a touchdown underdog. I don't know if you should expect to win this game, but obviously, like Joshy said, if you do, you're probably things would have to go really badly to not make the playoff if you win next week with how easy the rest of the schedule is.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. Yep, because you finished 10-2, you're going to go to the playoff with a win over Georgia. Then that's just the reality of it. It's kind of like Tennessee's win over Alabama last year, though they finished 9-3. That thing carried a lot of weight. A lot of weight. As we go back to the phones, the SEC is strange because, John, I'm watching this Oklahoma game. They've improved a whole lot in 1 year. A whole lot.
They really have, Tony, but as we keep focusing on, and there's no way to avoid it, it's one of the hardest schedules I've ever seen in college football. I really do like this John Mateer. I liked him at Washington State. And right on cue, he just completed a pass for about 35 yards. That was quite a get for them. And their defense, Brent Venables is a really good defensive coach, but that schedule, it's just absolutely brutal.
Oh, it's awful, man. Michigan, Matt, they continue to run well on defense. Mateer continues to kind of improvise and make plays. And Nico, I'm never going to leave you, is down 23-3. 4 seconds to go in the first half. That kid looks so
momentum.
checked out. That kid looks so checked out. Vanderbilt is down 20-17 late in the third in that one. And then our other game is all of a sudden tightening up. The Mississippi State, Arizona State game. It looks like that thing's going to go to the end. So this is
LSU's
fun.
only up 10-0 on Louisiana Tech, late third quarter.
Home of, let's see, Terry Bradshaw.
Is that game freezing on ESPN Plus too, John?
No, I gave up. I gave up on ESPN Plus. I was about to ask, is the Vanderbilt Virginia Tech game on ESPN Plus?
Back to the phones
ACC
we go.
Network, I think, right?
Yeah, you can 4-box that, John, on your YouTube TV.
Vandy just took the lead.
I'm 4-boxing it. Yep, Vanderbilt. Pavia, man. Pavia. How about that throw, Matt? Back to the phones we go. Vanderbilt getting vertical with it.
Some NFL team's going to take Pavia and that Syracuse running back and win a bunch of Super Bowls, Tone.
By the way, Matt, you got a fan here in Atlanta, Vol 404. He says all the quote casuals will be out next week, and he says Basilio callers are such quote sheep. Atlanta Vol 404. Let's go back to the phones. 865-200-5402. As Billy Derrick right now is, I don't know what's happening to him, but he's shall we say, stiffening up. over there on the sideline. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, Mike in Portland.
Hey, Mike, welcome in.
Got John there. Hey, I love it when you guys are watching the games and giving updates. This is like, it's like having multiple screens. I love this deal. But anyway, this is a conversation will probably be later in the week. But do you think that Sanders not start, but do you think you would work him into the rotation against Georgia? Just a quick question on that.
You know, we talked about that an hour or so ago on the program.
Oh.
Personally, Mike, if it's me, if it ain't broke, I'm not going to fix it. Sean Sinclair said earlier, if Sanders came back, I would make him second team and make him earn a spot. Even though the old adage is you're not supposed to lose your job due to injury. I would be hesitant to throw a kid out there in his first game against that caliber of opponent. I know he's a 5-star player, but I would be hesitant to do that without other game action.
I can't believe I missed that because I listened to the whole show, but I think that's the right deal.
Yeah, we've talked about it a couple times. It's just that we get so inane and goofy that it probably got lost in the weeds somewhere.
That's probably true. All right, love you guys. Go Big Orange. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. And there are plays being made all over the field tonight. Panel, you guys all agree with that, right, on Sanders? I don't think, John, that's a place to introduce. Georgia's just not, for your first game action, that's not setting a guy up to succeed, I don't think.
If he was going to play next week, he had to play this week.
I see. That's where I'm at.
Well, I don't think you should ever try and deal in absolutes. Never say, I will never. Nobody ever loses their position because of an injury. What you have to always ask yourself, what's best for the program, and then you answer that question. And I think starting a player that hasn't played against a defensive front as competent as Georgia's, I wouldn't want to break up the continuity of what you've done already anyway. So I would just, and how do we know? I mean, this goes back. Remember Cooper Mays a couple of years ago? We kept hearing he was kind of day to day, game to game, and he just thought he might be out a few days, and he was out about 5 games. So maybe Sanders is the same situation.
I knew that was significant. We reported that at the time. I do not hear the David Sanders thing as significant like that. I mean,
well, maybe it is.
I could be wrong. No, I could be wrong here, but I don't believe it's like one of these things where they've said, hey, this guy's missing 5 or 6 weeks and Heupel's playing poker. I think they've thought the last couple of weeks that he was going to play, and then he was unable to after they got word from the trainers or somebody, I guess.
That's pretty cryptic.
I don't know. I mean, it's sort of mysterious. You know, it's a little strange, to say the least. Back to the phones we go.
But I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's strange.
I mean, the way the offensive line, I think I've been as impressed with the offensive line as anything I've seen. And even though it's playing against overmatched opponents in weak defensive fronts, they've just looked really good together, particularly the interior. They bring in two. I think it's harder to add transfer players to the offensive line and be proficient at any other position. And I think these guys have melded together really well. And it showed in those 2 games. They look in sync in this up-tempo offense. I think that's really significant. And so I wouldn't want to disrupt that going into the Georgia game.
They're going warp speed, too. And, Matt, they kept the pedal to the metal today on that poor ETSU bunch. I mean, when the Vols get that going, that's got to be a bad feeling when you're ETSU over there, and you just know that they're going to go fast on you.
Yeah, and you can't stop it. But
no,
hey, give them props for not laying down. They didn't do that at all.
No, they didn't.
They had plenty of chances because it felt like Tennessee got a first down every other play.
I was looking at the numbers in the game, Matt. They had 110 tackles in the game, ETSU did. You want to talk about getting an ice bath tomorrow? 110 tackles. Goodness gracious. Let's go back to
Is that LSU Louisiana Tech game on the ESPN app or
Back to the phones we go. Hello.
It's an ESPN Plus game. Yes.
Back to the
okay.
Back to the phones we
I'll
go.
leave that alone.
Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony Sweetwater Watson.
Hey, brother. Welcome in, Watson.
First time caller.
Thank you.
Long time listener. Hey, so far this year we've been fairly balanced.
Yep.
Offensively, between run and the pass. Obviously, Georgia's going to be way tougher than what we've seen so far. How much success you think we're going to have running the ball next week?
Hard to say, man. Again, I'm back to the execution of the offensive line, which has been very good to this point. All three backs have brought something to the table. What'll be really curious next week to me, and when you get into these signature games, is are they going to choose a hot hand, okay, and rest on one, or are they going to keep rotating?
Yeah,
that will be interesting as to how they manage that run game. How do you answer that? What do you think they do?
I think you're right on. I think it's going to depend on how they're doing, and you may have one guy that's doing a little bit better. You might want to stick with him. I think depending on how that goes, I mean, we may see even more of Joey football next week on what he can do.
I think that's right. I think in these types of games, you got to let your quarterback loose a little bit. Sort of like what John was saying that Texas should have done last week with Ohio State. They should have run their quarterback more. I think next week's a game where you got to run your quarterback.
Yeah, I think you'll have to for sure.
Yep.
Hey, while we're on the Nico train here,
yeah.
Where I get my haircut in my barbershop, there's a guy that comes in there that works on the NIL crew at UT.
Sure.
And he said by far that family was there's been nothing that they've encountered that's been tough working with like they were. As far as working with them, trying to keep them happy, and
they're awful.
Everybody else was a piece of cake.
Yeah, they're awful.
Those guys.
That father's nuts, and they wouldn't do anything.
Good riddance, huh?
Well, let me ask you guys this: how many ads did you guys see Nico on?
I don't remember seeing him on any.
And that is the answer. They asked him to do things, and the father said he's no show pony. Oh, okay. I wish you'd have told us that before he got. You can say that again. He sure is no show pony. He sucks.
Yeah. Well,
he sucks.
Tony, he's bringing up. You talk about the running game. Tennessee's under Josh Heupel has been so effective running the ball for the most part. Against Georgia, it's averaging about 105 yards a game. But in each of the 4 games Heupel's teams have played against Georgia, it's rushed for more yards. It had a little over 140 yards rushing last year. I think if that trend can continue, Tennessee wins the game. I really think that's the key, is for Tennessee to be able to run the ball on Georgia. And I think there's a chance it can.
That's so interesting. How do they outrush them, Matt?
175 yards is the key. Tennessee's 27-0 since the start of the 22 season when they run for at least 175.
About that number.
And they average about 105
they
on Georgia.
Had a couple long touchdown runs against them. Jabbar Wright had one, and then Sampson had one last year.
That's why I love listening to this show, y'all, because y'all dropping knowledge, right?
Oh, you gotta control the clock.
You gotta control it.
Georgia too. So.
Yep. Well, thank you, my brother. It'll be interesting, right? Hey, and look, we're going to be down at Calhoun's on Friday, the Taste of Tennessee. It's unbelievable, Andy Mack. We're going to have an incredible time, and this is going to be an interesting game for a lot of reasons. Kind of a measuring stick, sort of let you know where you stand. And then this Mississippi State game will be an interesting opportunity for Tennessee as well. They are currently leading 17-10 midway through the third quarter, working on an upset of Arizona State in their building. Mississippi State, next couple weeks, see after this one, they have a couple gimmies, right?
Yeah, that's right. Their next I don't think they have any off weeks. So they would be 4-0, I would assume. I think they play Alcorn State and Northern Illinois. I think that's right. Alcorn State first, and then Northern Illinois, and then Tennessee, I believe, is their schedule.
And Tennessee, let it be said, will be right in that spot where Arizona State is right now with the damn cowbells clinging.
Whiteout. It's a whiteout down there for the Tennessee game.
a whiteout in
that's Independence Bowl. Yeah.
Say that again.
So I bet Arizona State was surprised at the atmosphere in Starkville.
No doubt about it.
Imagine being an Arizona State fan at that game. Just how miserable you'd be right now.
Did you guys see
Those
Kenny
cowbells
Dillingham?
They're really
Kenny
loud.
Dillingham was complaining about having to stay like an hour and a half away.
Yeah, he
'cause
did.
They don't have any hotels in
Yeah,
Starkville. Did you guys see
Dillingham.
that?
I'm like, Dillingham, where you been, man? You're in damn Starkville, Mississippi. They have a night out there is like going to McDonald's. And the best hotel, I mean, they got like a Motel 6 there. I mean, what are we talking about here? Dillingham said, why do we have to stay 90 minutes away? Because, dude, you're playing in Starkville. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
You can stay. Columbus really isn't that far away. I don't know where they're staying. Most teams, I would think, would stay in Columbus, which is probably 20 miles away.
The budding metropolis of. So we go back.
How far is Jackson away from there?
It's 120 miles.
As we go back to our busy phones.
You're not going to stay in Jackson to go to a game in Starkville, though.
As we go back to the phones, before we do, it's Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Shout out to our friends at Walker's Painting. Look, when it's time for a fresh coat, you run, you don't walk. To Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior Walker's Painting. It's been making it beautiful since 1999 all across our area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, you mentioned you heard it here. You get 10% off your first job. Let's go! As a famous East Tennessee poet laureate once said, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting, 865-688-1410, 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out their ad over at tclub.team, Walker's Painting. As we get ready to go back to our phones, hello and welcome into our next call. A really great call there from that last caller. As Oklahoma is up 2 scores on Michigan, and they muff a punt or fumble a punt return, and Michigan's going to have a ball deep in Oklahoma territory, which is one of the most Michigan things I've ever seen. They're getting thoroughly outplayed in this game. And they're about to get a free touchdown out of this if they handle it well. Hello, and that was a muff punt. I was right the first time. Hello, and welcome into our Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction. You're on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Hi.
Hey, Tony. It's Tan Adam. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Tan Adam. Welcome in, buddy.
Hey, I just wanted to thank you for making college football fun, man. I think I've had as much fun watching the other games with you guys being on as I have actually watching our game. So it's refreshing, man. And I got a chance to check out the YouTube. If anybody hasn't been on there, it's a lot of fun, man.
It's classic, isn't it? The YouTube, all these commenters and funny people in here on the YouTube channel. Yeah, I would like and subscribe. It's a great way to consume the program. And you got people in there clapping at me, and I'm clapping at them. And I like the YouTubers. We're having fun with each other.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. So if anybody's out there wanting to, if you're bored, it's a really good way to watch the games. I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun.
You can see my fat face and what I'm really thinking.
No, you're good, man. No barbecue sauce catastrophes tonight. We're good.
Interesting.
Hey, I just wanted to give a different perspective on something. I know that all the guys that contribute to the show are in different ages than I'm the phase that I'm in. I've got a 16-year-old son, and, obviously I know when your twins were going through school, it was a different climate for sports. This transfer portal is something that we're all navigating, and it has been very refreshing for me to see the success of Joey coming in and Nico going out, because I've been able to use that as an example for my son. I think a lot of us here in East Tennessee we try to be principled people and raise our kids the right way. And, we teach our kids that hard work pays off and don't give up on your dreams. And, I just, I don't know if this would ever get back at them, but I'm just grateful for what seems to be a pretty solid, normal family with a kid who had a dream that didn't give up and went a really hard route to get there. I think he said he was 24, right? He's 24 years old?
Yeah, he's 24 years old, yeah.
So I don't know if your callers know this, but my son's going through the recruiting process for basketball here in East Tennessee, and he has a couple offers, but it's just very different now than it is. A lot of parents are holding these kids back. So you very well could be a 19-year-old when you graduate high school. Then you look at prep school. You know, if you're not getting the offers you want, so then you're looking at 20, and then junior college is 21, 22, and then before you even start your undergrad at Division 2, 1, whatever that looks like. So you could very well be 26, 27 years old playing football or basketball in college. That's a reality that's right around the corner. So 24, there's a big difference in that, and it's going to be the new reality, and you're going to start seeing that a lot more, especially if they give the JUCO route, if they don't start counting that towards eligibility. So I don't know if anybody's walking through that or navigating that like I am right now, but get used to seeing those 24, 25, 26-year-old quarterbacks. If you look right now, these guys are moving around, and it's a good cautionary tale to see kids that are willing to wait, and go to school and take, pay for college for a few years to get that one big payday like Joey's getting right now, and a good opportunity.
Well, and to your point, some of these kids are going to turn out to be, because somebody said on our YouTube chat earlier, some of these kids are going to end up being cautionary tales. Some of these kids are going to end up being examples. And I think Nico's one of them. See, you and I were talking about this the other night off the air about how a lot of these parents and coaches are gaming the system with some of these older players. Like, that's going to be a thing. Adam's right about that, isn't he, C?
Oops, yeah, I was on mute. But yeah, no, you're right. There's a lot of guys. I know you're talking about basketball in particular. Yeah, it's easy to game it and hold your kid back or do anything like that to get kind of an edge. And I think it probably does help, as he could probably speak to it better than I could, the caller. But yeah, it makes sense. And I think Golish, actually, we're talking about Golish. I think Golish, like 19 out of their 22 on the two deep on defense are 22 or 23 years old or older.
Wow,
So,
I didn't realize that.
And they went in the portal after a lot of grad transfers, fifth-year guys, things like that. And that's why I think they look so physical. That was one thing I noticed when I was kind of looking at them, and we were looking at some sleepers. It looked like they went for physicality and age and that kind of thing in the portal.
Kind of like what Indiana did last year when they brought all their guys from James Madison with them. They brought a bunch of older guys, and they held up pretty well at that level last year. So that's a very interesting little factoid about Comrade Golish and the success they're having. And Adam, my best to you, my man. I love you. And
love you too, buddy.
And I appreciate what you said there. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Because, John, that is true. When you look at Nico's deal, you can say, a lot of parents can pull a kid aside and say, hey, when you do things for some of the wrong reasons, or you act in haste, or you have a business decision to make, and you make it emotionally, okay, you can get yourself in trouble. Because they're in trouble right now. You can get yourself in trouble pretty quickly.
Yeah, his career is on descent.
I would say.
I mean,
yeah,
he's gone from 5-star to borderline NFL prospect.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think that's accurate.
Oklahoma, you're right. Oklahoma has kept Michigan in the game with some inept plays, but it's yeah, I know. I mean, it's clearly the better team.
Yes, they're playing around here with this Michigan bunch. Who, look, and this is the other thing about it. That's a true freshman quarterback who's trying to navigate, and he's going to be a great player, obviously. But that's a true freshman quarterback that they're making look like a true freshman quarterback tonight.
Well, that's what Brent Venables can do.
Oh, no question. You guys were talking about it earlier in the week. That's exactly how this is playing out right now. They've got that kid sort of handcuffed here.
Early second quarter, South Carolina State leads South Carolina 3-0.
Matt?
after a lengthy rain delay.
Well, I thought South Carolina was overrated, but I didn't think it was that overrated.
Did you hear what Matt said to Bry? Keep us updated. Back to the phones we go.
I'll do it for you, Dixie.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You're live on Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction, getting you to and fro, celebrating the Big East Tennessee State win today. They'll never be forgotten by the living fan. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
It's just what makes this sport so great.
Hello and welcome in. You're on the air. Yes, that's you. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air. In 5, in 4, in 3, in 2. How many times am I going to hear that? The SEC on ABC.
Was that the SEC on ABC?
Hello and welcome into our next call. You're live on the air. Welcome in.
Hey, Tony, it's David Ackworth.
Ackworth. Welcome in, brother.
Hey, guys. Hey, I'm going to say, my favorite play of the night by Aguilar was not a positive play, but not a negative one. I thought that pass he threw out of bounds to the sideline, I think it might have been late in the first half, was where the DB jumped the route, and he didn't even hesitate. He just threw it over everybody's head, threw it way out of bounds, and just reloaded. I thought that showed a lot of maturity and just like, okay, he's made a good play on. He didn't try to force something in there. He didn't try to. I thought that was just a really smart, mature play. It was just like, no big deal, just throw it away. I really thought that was good. And they mentioned earlier the play where he was going down and still was looking downfield. He keeps his eyes downfield longer than just about any quarterback I've ever seen in college. I mean, he is the opposite of our guy last year from a panic perspective. He just does not panic at all. It's impressive.
Nico's gone from 5-star to our guy last year. Don't even call him by name.
Well, I mean, your point is well taken from the standpoint of you can tell the guy's experienced. He's in an offense that's going like warp speed once again, but somehow it feels like it's slowed down for him, which has to be his experience, right? It just has to be. It has to be like we call it seat time for pilots, or, like with musicians, I just call it like playing with other people, playing out with others. Eventually, when you play out enough, eventually it kind of slows down for you. And he reminds me of one of those veteran kind of, he's not going to be like the greatest guitar player in the world, but he's not going to play things that don't belong in a musical sense. He's out there kind of doing things that make sense. Now, he's not going to be able to make all the plays, Dave, and he's going to do some things that are going to drive us crazy. He's going to throw some interceptions this year, and he's going to do some goofy things on the field, but he has a pretty good idea of what we're trying to do offensively. You can just tell. He's gotten it already.
Well, and what's crazy is, I told my son today, I said, he's learned one thing. He goes, I just have to throw the ball to the open guy because there's always somebody open. There's always somebody open. He hasn't had to throw a ball in a tight window. I don't think he's had to throw a ball in a tight window so far these first two games. Now that's probably going to change as the SEC schedule rolls. But let's face it, everybody is. There are so many guys open in this offense, and even last year, and when we were saying that nobody was open last year, the wide receivers weren't very good. Well, you go back and look at film, there were plenty of guys open last year. They just weren't hitting them. And, it's just like, this offense is so quarterback friendly. It's like we talked about, Tony. Why quarterbacks aren't lining up to play here, I don't know. Of course, we're starting to see that. I think they are. Yep. What I don't understand is why running backs aren't lining up here to play. Why you don't have to fight off the top 2 or 3 running backs in the country to come here, because you talk about it's not only a quarterback-friendly offense, it's a running back-friendly offense like I've never seen before.
It makes zero sense why you wouldn't be able to get the top running backs in the country to play in this offense, Matt.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, Matt. For the life of me, I'm going to be able to catch balls. I'm going to be featured. I'm gonna get my hands on it, and I'm gonna be in the second level, Matt, all the time. I mean, why wouldn't I, Matt? Why wouldn't I be playing at University of Tennessee in front of that crowd?
Didn't Aaron Hayden say he'd love to be a running back playing in this offense?
Absolutely.
When Heupel was hired,
and he was right. Absolutely.
Well, they might not be willing to spend what it takes to pay for a top guy because they're already getting 5-star production out of the guys they have.
Hey, Matt, they tried to get that Hyder guy. They were big time in on him, man. But
yeah, he's like the first one.
But he was hardwired to Michigan. Yeah, I know, but why? It's just weird. That's a good point, Matt. That's a good point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in the NFL, the running back position's been devalued, and now that you have essentially a salary cap in the college game, why pay for the talent if you're already getting that production out of these 3- and 4-star guys? I mean, Deshaun Bishop's a walk-on. He was. Like, what's the point in paying a lot of money for a high-profile guy if you've got a guy like Bishop who's as good as he is?
I'd love to see one just to see what it looked like.
Yeah, but Matt's right, Tony. You can use that money for another position.
I wonder, John, if they arrive at that conclusion with quarterbacks, too, because this guy here and Hendon Hooker speak to, I don't need this elite 5-star shiny object playing quarterback to be effective.
No, maybe invested in your offensive line.
I think that's accurate, John. I think that's true. Yes.
Well, isn't that what they've done, guys? To some extent, we've complained about no homegrown offensive linemen. What have we done every year? We've gone out and bought offensive linemen.
No, that's correct. Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Tony, I know you, and I'm not calling you out in a negative way because I think we all felt this way. So far this season's proven the fact that you don't need 8 wide receivers in this offense. You need 3 or 4.
You haven't played an SEC football game yet, big boy. I love you.
Well,
I love you.
That's true.
You were playing against East Tennessee State, sweetheart. And I love you. You're my guy. And that Syracuse team is terrible. Watching them with UConn today, they were fortunate. And I mean getting booed by their home fans. And they were bad on offense and defense today, by the way. UConn took their foot off the gas midway through the third quarter. So, Dave, I would pump the brakes on the need for wide receivers just yet. Let's see. Let's
How
watch
many
the season
did we play in the 22 season? How many did we play a lot in the 22 season?
Dave, let's watch the season unfold before we make our proclamations.
I am worried about injuries, and injuries what killed us last year. So the lack of depth there from an injury standpoint was definitely a factor.
Yes.
But the other thing, going back to running backs real quick, and I'll let you go. The other thing that may be a negative is, the one thing he loves to do is do a kind of a running back by committee.
Yep.
And last year it was out of necessity that Dylan Sampson ran the ball so much. I wonder if that's used against him a little bit. It's like, hey, you're going to go there, but you're going to split carries with 1 or 2 other backs. You're not going to be, running the ball 25, 30 times in this offense. You're going to be running it 10 and 12. And maybe that's another thing that they maybe use against him to get that big back that we've talked about that we all want to see. But appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a great night.
Dave, you're my man. Thank you. My thing on the wide receivers is, if it's me in the offseason, seeing what they have now, I would have gone out and got me a veteran wide receiver that can play, like Georgia did. Georgia got 2 of them. I'm always doing that. Every offseason, I'm adding 2 veteran wide receivers that can play. That's what everybody does.
One thing that stood out to me in that Georgia game.
Yeah.
I just saw a few plays of it. I was looking at it on my cell phone.
Sure.
So very small picture. But they didn't get Branch involved. Zachariah Bryant, the USC transfer. He's a big-time playmaker. To me, he will be a key factor in the Tennessee game.
Sure he will.
If you don't give him up, let him get any big plays, I don't see a lot of playmakers on this Georgia team. I really don't. Remember when Georgia was at its best, and no, its defense got so much credit. I mean, it had Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, those Philadelphia Eagles, in the middle of its defensive line. But when you look at Ladd McConkey And Brock Bowers is one of the best players ever played in the SEC. And they had those two guys in the passing game and both go into the NFL and have an immediate impact. Georgia doesn't have those kind of players on this team.
We'll see. John,
But they don't. I'm not saying they won't win, but I'm just saying
hey, John,
they don't have those kind of players.
I can't draw any conclusions on Georgia when they haven't tried through 2 games. They don't try. So I don't know what they have and what they don't have. I don't. They haven't tried.
Well, you can administer the eye test.
John, they don't try in these games. It's like Steve Spurrier, the first 2 games before he used to play Tennessee in September, and they would kind of fiddle fart around and beat somebody 13-9, and then we'd step on the field with them and we'd go, where did that guy come from? Where did that guy come from? Where did that guy come from? It's the same kind of thing. These guys, when they get on the field with us, get focused. And they get
I'm not
the ball.
saying they won't have guys that play well against Tennessee, Tony, but what I'm saying, there's no Brock Bowers out there. There hadn't been that many Brock Bowers in the history of the SEC.
Well, there's no question about that.
There's no Ladd McConkey out there. They just aren't there.
We'll see. 865. Go ahead, Brian.
Mississippi State has seen Arizona State tie them at 17.
Yes.
Vandy's up 30-20 over Virginia Tech, and Army beats Kansas State.
Army won.
Army beat Kansas State 24-21.
A crazy
Avery Johnson threw a late
day.
pick off the receiver's hands.
Oh, my God. His brother's going to get the hell beat out of him tonight. Let's go back to the phones. This is crazy. What a crazy day in college football. Crazy. Matt, who
Mississippi State is really fading, isn't it?
Yes, they are. Matt, who wins this state game from here? What do you think?
Arizona State. That late field goal at the end of the first half that they gifted them changed everything.
Yep.
Do you think those Mississippi State fans develop tendinitis in the second half? They can't ring the cowbells as loudly?
Orange Blood said Kansas State won, Bri, that game against Army. You're reading that wrong.
No, I think Brian's right.
Wow.
Army won.
Army had the ball, they said, for 26 minutes in the second half.
My gosh.
Did Army lose to Tarleton State?
Tarleton State, they sure did.
Yeah, in overtime.
And they allegedly had 0 defense.
Billy Gillespie had a great game plan for Tarleton State last week.
Is that where he is now, Matt?
Yes.
Last time I checked on him, he was.
That's kind of fantastic. 865-200-5402. We'll get a couple more in here, then we'll get out of here. As it's Garza Law 5th quarter fan reaction. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air. Hello and welcome in. There is a full moon tonight.
Hello.
Yeah, hey, you're on the air. Welcome in.
Is that Titans-Bill?
Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
How you doing, buddy? Good to talk to you.
I'm doing good, man. So, what do you think about that Army game?
I didn't see it coming.
I didn't either, man. To be honest, my brother-in-law, future brother-in-law, my sister's dating Caleb Fortner for Army.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, he plays linebacker for Army, and I thought that was super cool. But yeah, dude, all in all, it was good.
Didn't one of his teammates pull somebody from a burning car the other night? Did you hear about that?
I heard. My sister told me about that. I don't know much about it.
So there was an accident. There was an accident on the side of the road, and this car hit a tree, and the driver was basically knocked out. The car was catching fire. This kid that plays at Army ran over with his father, unhooked this guy, pulled him, drugged this guy across the road, and then the car exploded. Absolutely happened. That absolutely stone cold happened, man.
That's insane. Yeah, she told me about that. I thought that was definitely brave of that Army player to do that.
Wow.
But yeah, all in all, man, it was a great college football weekend. I'm watching this Michigan and Oklahoma State game right now, and
yep,
it's definitely looking like Oklahoma's gonna take it to the house for this game. But I really appreciate you taking my call, Tony.
Hey, thank you, brother. Good talking to you. My best to your future brother-in-law, or is he your brother-in-law? But whatever case, Matt, did you see Kevin Hart over there today? They're talking about that on YouTube. His son's going to run track for Tennessee. Philly boy Kevin Hart, who I just have never thought was funny. I mean, not even one time in my life. But I'll tell you this: in Philadelphia, there are a million people funnier than Kevin Hart. Like a million.
I might try to get Kevin Hart on the show.
There were a million.
I don't want.
There were
Kevin
a million
Hart on the
and
show,
one
Brian.
funnier
Thanks.
when you were in Philly.
Well, there you go. 865-200-5402.
Have they doxed that Phillies Karen that took the ball away from that kid at the baseball game the other night?
She looked very attractive, Matt. She was very attractive looking. You talk about a hard-looking lady. No offense to her. It's my ball. It's my ball. It's my ball. It's my ball. That guy showed a lot of restraint. I'll put it that way. I would have been on Patrol Live, Matt. Hello and welcome into our next call.
You would have throat punched her.
No, I would never. I'd never hit a woman, but I might have instructed my son to. He's 9 years old.
Michigan just got away with
I'm
the
just
cheap
kidding.
shot.
That-
Should have been a 15-yarder.
That lady, Matt, was totally out of control, and that was a cheap shot, John. You're right.
God, and that's a huge play.
But they bring their refs with them.
That's a huge play in this game.
Big Ten ref, man. If that's an SEC ref, they call that every day, all day, because they love calling stuff like that alters
he
games.
Just waylaid him.
Hello and welcome into our next call on Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction. Hi, welcome in.
Dooley Adams.
Oh, there he is. And that means it's officially time to close for business because you, sir, are the biggest loser. And it's been a winning day, but somebody had to represent the Florida Gators tonight, and we'll leave it to King Jim, a.k.a. Small Mike, or any of his band aliases from around town, because that is the biggest loser of them all. Gentlemen, as I thank all of our wonderful sponsors, including your Garza Law Firm, the great Marcos Garza and your Garza Law Firm, I thank Dos Equis, Go for Dose. I thank Performance Medicine online at performancemedicine.net. I thank the Razzle Dazzle of Oklahoma who went for the jugular.
God, that should have been a touchdown.
And could have been a touchdown. I thank Marcos Garza and my Garza Law Firm and TLD Logistics online at tldlogistics.com and T3 Vodka, Tennessee's premium vodka. Special shout out to my friends at Waterside Construction and Walker's Painting. Special shout out to Josh Collins and your Collins Insurance Agency. Special shout out to my Taste of Tennessee, Calhoun's, and TLD Logistics online at tldlogistics.com. And special shout out to KONEXIAL.com. That's Connexial. Shout them on out over at Alumni Hall, or as the late great John Ward once said, Alumni Hall. It's beautiful.
You got any more shout-outs?
John, no, but this has been a great day of college football. The card, Matt, looked like an absolute dud, like a C- D+ card, and college football is the best sport on the planet, Matt. And I love all my sports, but there's just something about college
Michigan
football.
has gotten away with 2 cheap shots in this drive alone.
Michigan's in trouble. Any final thoughts, guys, on the way out as it's officially Georgia week?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for Tennessee. If Tennessee beats Georgia, people will be start talking about can they go undefeated.
John, I 1,000% agree with that. As Nico throws an interception on the goal line, I 1,000% agree
Special
with John.
teams are killing Oklahoma tonight.
I 1,000% agree with John.
You're on special teams.
Oh yeah,
Yours is
Matt's
like,
10 seconds ahead of you. You will soon
God.
learn that. Matt sees the play before the play. I'm going to guess this ball is a kick block going a long way back. From Matt's context clues. Let's see. No, he just missed a field goal. He just flat missed it. Okay. You had me scared there, Matt. Still an 8-point game, though. They've got this freshman, though, so bottled up.
Oklahoma's outplayed them by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
And they're just...
Yeah, but you could almost see...
Kill job.
Yep.
Yeah, you could almost see them sneaking out of here with a win.
No doubt, John. When you let
absolutely.
When you let a decent opponent hang around, we've seen this so many times.
With a 5-star quarterback that's a generational talent, I mean, you're one play away from it turning on you quickly.
No question.
Yeah, this would be the kill shot against Brent Venables. And I think South Florida, I think that win today over Florida was officially the end of the Billy Napier era. They'll keep playing, but he had to win that game at home against South Florida.
I think the Virginia Tech coach might be on his way out.
Well, they're going to be a lot.
Resign tonight.
Tennessee fans are going to have a great chance of getting tickets in the Swamp this year in November.
I think that's accurate, John, and maybe in some of these other houses as well before it's over. But again, I'm not ready to throw dirt. Yeah, I'm not ready to throw dirt on some of these programs, though, because you can't overreact to this stuff. I mean, you can overreact, but you can't overreact. And we're going to find out a whole lot about ourselves this week when we go into league play. Can Nico lead a comeback down 23-3? That's the question. As he throws a touchdown pass.
I think we know the answer.
23-10, he might lead them back. Love going to lead you back.
I wonder how he does against UCLA's defense in practice.
Matt, I bet he rips them up. Same thing like it was in Knoxville. I bet he tears them apart.
Well, Tony, thanks for having me on today. And
John, you were great. Any other final thoughts, ladies and gentlemen? Here?
I got an idea for a play call. Sneak George McIntyre into the game at offensive tackle.
Why are you guys going?
Tell the officials you want to designate him as an eligible receiver and let him get between a couple of safeties and go up and make a play.
Guys, thank you. It was a lot of fun. Next week it'll be a little later. No? Next week's a 3:30 game, so we'll be on probably around 9 o'clock after Georgia lays on the ground for 5 hours. Matt, we won't see any of that, will we, in the league? They won't put up with that, right, Matt?
Well, Georgia doesn't do it very often, no.
They won't do it. I kind of respect that.
You have to consistently make first downs for that to be a possibility too. Hopefully it comes up.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully they have to get on the ground a little bit. Great point. Yeah. Be a great sign. But all kidding aside, it's a great opportunity for Tennessee. Any final thoughts, guys, on the way out? Brian, you went from pillar to post today. You did 4 hours of yeoman work today, Brian.
Yeah, one update, Dixie. South Carolina now leads South Carolina State 14-3. They've returned 2 punts for touchdowns.
And ladies and gentlemen, we call that committing. We call that committing to the bit. And I want to thank the panel for being here today. I want to thank Cinco, Brian, TGMD, John Adams, and C. Next week we'll have a full cast of characters as well. I want to thank all the wonderful sponsors that made it all possible. The great calls that we got tonight. Bunch of first-timers got through, which we love. Thousands and thousands listening. I hope we got you to and fro. Those of you who live in the mid-state area, that's why we designed the show to go 3+ hours. Next week, I'm sure we're going to be on for a lot more. But, hey, 3 hours and 40 minutes after an East Tennessee State game, it's a pretty good effort in my humble opinion. But I want to thank Laura for setting it all up in here. I wish you the best. I hope you have a great one. And G to the B to the O, man. It's going to be a great, great, great fun week. Check us out over at tclub.team. And until we meet again, for all those behind the scenes, my name's Tony. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great evening and a great rest of your weekend. And I hope your teams win. Peace and GBO. And that was fun. Those of you that are in the car doing what you're doing, let's do this. I'm going to run it back for you so you can enjoy the show. Here we go.
Drink all day and rock all night.
Big Orange fans, you played every snap. You showed your orange. But you're just getting